Clixing It is sponsored by Glass Cabinet Hobbies, where you can find Heroclix singles and participate in case breaks of your favorite Heroclix sets. They also specialize in comic books, so if you are an avid fan of Heroclix and comic books, head on over to glasscabinethobbies.com and use coupon code CLIXINGIT to receive 5% off your order. Also, if you would like to support the show, head on over to patreon.com/CLIXINGIT to be entered in our monthly giveaways. Now, here we go. Let's start the show. Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode number 33 of the Clixing It podcast. I, like always, am your host, Adam, and with me, as always, is my co-host, Dan. Dan, how are you doing tonight?
Yo, I'm all right.
And with us in the studio today is Aries Edge. Aries, how are you doing tonight?
Yeah, I'm doing fantastic. How are you guys doing? Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. We wanted to have you on here for a while. We've been pretty booked with other people, so it was perfect that it worked out for you on this Monday. So, Aries, tell us a little bit about yourself. You have a channel of yourself on Facebook and YouTube. Tell us a little bit about how long you've been playing, if you're a competitive player, meta player, things like that. Go right ahead.
I've been playing now, oh goodness gracious, since 2004, I think, 2005. I started playing back in high school with Mage Knight. So I was into that first, took a hiatus, and then came back right around, I think my first boosters that I actually bought were Legacy.
Nice.
And I've been playing kind of on and off. I've been playing for as long as Heroclix has been actually putting out product. We had those the dark years there when Topps decided to kill off the game.
The dark years, I like that.
The dark years when Topps kind of killed off the game right after the Avengers set, and then we had that one-off Hammer Thor, and then kind of it went dark again, and then got picked up. So I've been kind of following along with that. Yep, I do have a Facebook page, Edition of Clicks Heroclix, or Edition of Clicks, and I have the YouTube page as well, Edition of Clicks. I do put some stuff up on SoundCloud as well when I'm able to. But yeah, I mean, other than that, I've kind of been in and out of Heroclix. I do play competitively when I can. Other than that, I judge a lot because nobody in my area here in Connecticut really wants to judge. So for the last couple half dozen big tournaments, state championships, WizKids Opens, things like that, I've been judging at Sarge's Comics and Games in New London, Connecticut. It's easy to get to because there's an Amtrak station literally 2 blocks away. So anybody who has any travel issues can always just hop on, what the hell is it called? A train. There you go. Wow. I did baseball all weekend, so I'm a little fried right now. So yeah, you hop on the train. It's an easy way to get here. I mean, other than that, I mean, that's about it. I enjoy Heroclix. I enjoy the community as a whole. And I try and play whenever I can. And right now, it's very hard to do that.
And you also are an admin on the Heroclix International page. I don't know if you technically started it, but I know you also help regulate that. So.
Yeah, I was petitioning for a while to get on there, but a lot of older admins who aren't there anymore, I don't think wanted me on per se. I was told that I was too brash of a person to be an admin, and I was kind of like, well, I think that's kind of what you want. You want somebody who is going to call things down the middle and, like, you know what I mean? Just
I appreciate a straight shooter that's just going to tell it like they see it.
That's what it is don't take advantage of the community. Do the right things that you know what I mean? Don't mail things in bubble mailers if they're in an exclusive box. Sorry, Micah, but
now, what got you into Heroclix? Was it a friend? Did you see it in the comic book store or something? How was that story happen?
Buddy of mine, they were playing Mage Knight, and I kind of just sat there. I'd always liked comics. I'd always liked the old school Amazing Spider-Man on Fox. Way back in the day when I would get home, I would watch that.
Oh, so not the '90s one, but the one before that.
No. I think it was the '90s, the one where they had the Venom saga and things like that.
And they had the cool guitar riff opening theme with all the.
Absolutely, yes, big time. Yeah. I owned I think it was the '70s version, the old animated one. But no, it was the full where you had the Venom saga and all that stuff. I would come home, watch it on Fox and stuff. So But yeah, they were playing Mage Knight. I enjoyed it for a while until I realized that nobody really knew the rules. And so whenever I would go and play, they would say something, and I'd be like, that makes no sense whatsoever. So I call him my brother. He's my best friend. I've known him for almost 15 years now. I was hanging out with him one day, and I mentioned to him, yeah, I used to play a game called Mage Knight. They put out another game with like Marvel and DC characters, and he literally came out with an entire Rubbermaid tote and put it in front of me and was like, take anything you want out of here. These are all extras. And he probably had 500 in there. So I literally filled 2 grocery bags full of Heroclix that night. And then a couple weeks later, we found our local comic store, which was Sarge's even back then. Bought some legacy boosters. The first legacy booster I opened, I pulled Kingdom Come Flash. So then I was like, oh, okay, I want to read this graphic novel now. So I picked that up, loved it immediately, and just I kept playing back then too. And this is going to be for some of the old school players that have played. To be a judge, you had to be sponsored by another judge. You then had to take an online test, and that just got you on the base floor. And then you could upgrade and level up basically to, I think the maximum was like a level 5 judge. So I actually got up to a level 4 judge in the Northeast area before everything just went to hell.
Of course.
So I got pretty far into it. Went to a Wizard World Philadelphia and was able to. They had like a special dinner for judges who I think were like level 3 or above or something like that. So I went to that, and that's where you got all of like your teasers and your sneak peeks at stuff. There was like a buffet style dinner, and then they gave you like a whole swag bag of stuff. So it was really cool. And then again, like I said, the dark years hit, and here we are.
Yeah, and I think what your friend did is what a lot of us do is, they see the game you're playing, it's like, here, have all my extras, and then we can play a game. It's not, oh, well, if you want to play, you have to go spend money on the shelf over there and buy like 5 boosters that even have somewhat of a competitive team. No, it's take all my extra stuff. I don't want it. I can't. I feel bad throwing it away. So here, if you like the figures, hit me up and we'll play a game.
Absolutely. Well, that was what it was. It was more like, no, I want you to take them because I've had nobody to play with. Yeah. There was no Heroclix scene in Connecticut at the time. So it was like, no, like, here, take as much as you want. Let's sit down. We can really dive into the rules, figure it all out from there, and basically build kind of a community from the ground up. And that's basically what we did.
Yeah, I can't tell you how many cases or whatever you want to call it of Heroclix that I've given to kids where they came one week with like, oh yeah, we've only bought like 3 boosters and this is our team. I'm like, come next week and I'll literally give you everything that I have extra. And you can do it whatever with your heart's content.
Here is the box of extra.
Yes.
Take anything that you want, please, because it's just taking up space.
Yeah, exactly. And then before we move on, I do have to bring up something. PJ Bolin was on our show on Thursday, and he said if you want to get a rise out of Ares, ask him about the Battle Royal that we participated in where I had somebody else barrier just for my profit. So go into as much detail as you can with this story because he said it's a pretty good one.
It's just PJ being PJ. The guy is a used car salesman. He would try and sell friggin' ice to an Eskimo, man. It was so bad. So all right, so I'm in the bottom right hand corner. PJ is sitting next to me on my left, and then of course there's a guy in front of him and a guy in front of me. So obviously we're going clockwise. So PJ had I think it was Secret Wars Battle World was the set. So he had the Iron Man, the rare Iron Man, and he had taken a couple of lumps, and he knew coming back around the table, like, okay, Ares is going to probably try and snipe my Iron Man. So he did a couple things, and then the guy in front of him was working, and he hit him, and then he had, like, one more action, or he might even had 2 more actions, and the guy was about to pass. And PJ was like, whoa, you still have things you can do, man. Like, this guy's got barrier, and, like, you have options. And I'm like, no, he doesn't. I'm like, no, he doesn't. Like, it's like, let him play his game. And he's like, well, I mean, I'm like, no, I know what you're... So me and PJ are arguing about what this other player should do with his turn, and the guy's kind of just sitting there like, I don't know, like, I guess I could use barrier. And he's like, yeah, you can maximize, like, blocking in your own people, so, these guys can't get to you. And I'm like, yes, but you also do realize that you're blocking in his Iron Man as well. So, yes, you are protecting yourself, but you're kind of also protecting PJ. And he's like, well, that doesn't matter. He's protecting his guy. And I'm like, no. So he ended up barriering himself in with the Iron Man. And I was like, all right, well, that's horrible. So then the other guy was like, well, there's not much I can do because these guys are barriered. So they kind of came down my way a little bit, and then it was my turn. So I'm fighting against fresh characters while I know there's an Iron Man who's probably 2 clicks away from dying. So then it comes back around to PJ, and he goes, okay, so Iron Man's going to quake. And the guy's face just kind of dropped, and he was like, oh, man, I just put all this blocking terrain up, and now he's going to quake. And I just looked over at him like, hey, man, this is your call. Like, this is all on you. And he hit everyone. He dealt damage. He knocked people back into barriers. They took more damage. And I was like, he just maximized the amount of damage that he could have done. And at that point in time, he didn't care. He was like, all right, the Iron Man can die now. He did exactly what he needed to do. And I'm just sitting next to him, just like, I would just want to uppercut you right under your tilt right now, dude. Like, I know exactly what you did. And he knew I knew that I knew what he was doing. And it was just like, and he was just sitting there smirking. I was like, you dirty rat. I'm like, you're a car salesman, man. Just selling a used car to somebody, just getting no. You need this warranty. You need it. No. You need all the bells and whistles. Oh, man.
I figured he was almost that snake oil at that point, man. He's like,
absolutely. And then when it came to like prizing, he scooped up one thing. I think we may have placed 1-2. He just scooped up one thing and was like, okay, I don't need anything else, and walked away. And I was like, you
at least take that Iron Man as like a memento.
Nope, didn't even want it. It did its purpose. He was done with it. He's like, nope, I just need this. Okay, see you later. And took off. I was like,
But see, that's what I love about this game is that even though that was like it wasn't in your favor, that's a memory you're gonna have, and you can laugh about it.
Oh, well, I definitely wasn't salty about it.
Yeah,
but it was just funny to the point where PJ and I are going back and forth. It's not even our turn; it's someone else's turn. Just trying to give him suggestions, but also it's like no. Like, you have to realize, like, we're not gonna go. Like, yeah, you might get some residual. But we're going to go for what's blood in the water right now. And that Iron Man is definitely blood in the water. It's definitely points. People are going to try and shoot for that first.
Yeah. I can't tell you how many people I've talked out of hitting my guys and going for somebody else in Battle Royals. It is a strategy. It's like, well, you could hit me, but you're not going to kill me. But if you do hit, you could kill this guy if you knock him back. And then they do. And then, okay, now I'm going to kill you.
Well,
it's a mind game in Battle Royals.
Well, it's also just it's a whole different mindset of just Heroclix, period. Because when you play someone one-on-one, your mindset is you don't want your stuff to die, but you want their stuff to die.
Yeah.
Now, in Battle Royals, you don't really need your stuff to stay alive the entire game. You just need to have more points at the end.
Yeah.
Like, if I give up 150 points to this one guy and give up 75 to this person, but I'm sitting on 250, like, I don't mind losing stuff as long as I'm gaining stuff. And a lot of people, when they play Battle Royals, they still go into it with the mindset of, I don't want my stuff to die. But it's like, you want to get it, you want to maximize the amount of stuff that you KO. You shouldn't care how much, you know what I mean? If you have a 60-point figure and you're going to put it in a bad spot, but you're going to get 120 points for a KO, yeah, it's a high risk, high reward. You know what I mean? It's like you have to. It's risk management.
Yeah, I didn't realize that you and PJ were teammates. We'll have to get both you guys on here one of these days.
No, not teammates. He's on that humongous team of Phoenix Ness, where they have like 4,675 members. I'm out of New England, so I am on Team Pusheen.
Oh, okay. I thought you said you were teammates with him.
No, I'm Anthony Bruno, who does the Coffee and Clicks.
Oh, that's right. That's who we were talking about.
I'm with him. Kane G, who's a national champion. Abdul Manakram, Jason Keene, Brian Galley, who's a WizKids judge, Bradley Wilson, Rob Real, Joe Pape. A lot of good players in the team. And, of course, Kenny Pena was, I think, one of the founding members of Team Pusheen, and we all know the accolades that Kenny has.
Okay, gotcha.
Hopefully I didn't miss too many teammates, because I did that once on another podcast, and I got yelled at by many. So...
All right. Well, that is Aries. We're going to get to know Aries a little bit more in the show, but we are going to get into a quick how was our week?
Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. There are 7 days, there are 7 days, there are 7 days in a week.
So we'll start off with Dan. So Dan, how has your, not week really, but how was your weekend?
Good. Apparently I won our event, which I did not know until like later. It's like, oh, you won an event. And I'm like, oh, I did? Okay. All right.
Yes, the event he's talking about is we had our first live event at my house. I was extremely rusty, but I'll go a bit more than that.
I was like, oh man, the rust is showing.
Oh man, it was bad. I mean, because I haven't had a chance to play Roll20 that much, and when I do kind of play clicks with myself, just to kind of test teams out and stuff like that, and play with figures, because I want to give them at least some sort of action, if you want to call it. I give up halfway through because I'm like, well, this game's over. But the rust definitely was showing quite a bit, because I played Dan in my first round, I played Jerry in my second, and then I played Dave in our third. But we'll talk about that more when it's my turn. But yeah, besides the winning the event, your first event in like 3 months, anything else happen?
I'm waiting for my dice cup to get here, but it's on its way, so I'm excited to get that. That's supposed to be here tomorrow. But otherwise, no, I don't have much going on.
That's right. Make sure you guys are checking out Jeremiah Peterson for his dice cups and click trays and everything like that. He does some amazing work over there.
Yeah. Otherwise, no, it was a quiet weekend. Otherwise, not much going on over here.
Okay. Aries, do you have any kind of custom work from Jeremiah Peterson or no?
I do. I have a tray that he did for me. He has actually donated. He donated a tray last year to the 12 Days of Clicksmith that I do.
The 12 Days of Clicksmith.
Yeah, so he donated one last year to the 12 Days of Clicksmith, and he's actually donating one right now for the edition of Clicks page. Myself and Aaron Constantine Morgan, who's helping me out, we are putting together a charity event for mental health awareness and suicide prevention, and Jeremiah Peterson is actually donating a tray to that tournament as well.
That's
so
very nice.
We're going to have more details about that coming out later this week as we finalize what we actually have for prizing and things like that, and we can hammer some dates down. But yeah, I got a couple of Jeremiah Peterson originals. My tray is very nice. I like the smell of it. I know that's weird.
No, the campfire smells great.
Yes, it's like, oh, this is pretty fantastic.
Especially when you first get it. I mean, it still has that smell, even though I've had mine for, I want to say, a year or so. But when you first open that shipping box and you take a nice deep breath, it's like, campfire.
Absolutely. I know it's weird, and people are probably gonna be like, that's weird. Nah, get a tray and then smell it and tell me that's not one of the nicest smells that, like, it's, yeah.
Oh yeah, it's very pleasant. What's your theme on your tray?
Mine was all DC villains.
Okay, interesting.
So, oh god, if I had to remember, I mean, I've got one that's got like Bane in it. Obviously, I've got Ares on there. I've got one that's kind of like a modified version of the Legion of Doom. And usually he doesn't put anything in the top portion of the tray. It's usually like a couple of individual slots, then a couple. Like, so for me, though, I had him customize it and put straight edge in the top of it because I am straight edge. So I had him customize that and put that in there for me as well.
That's
so
cool.
A couple of little nuances just for me on there.
Yeah, Aries. Jeremiah's a good guy. He also donated some dice cups for our Patreon giveaway 2 months ago, I believe. He gave us 3 of them with our logo on it. So, because we like to mention his name on here, and we've been giving him a couple of good businesses, and it's just nice to help out a local, or not local, but someone else in the community that makes that kind of stuff.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, that's only going to strengthen the community by making sure that you have that kind of stuff for everyone.
Yeah, he's going to start having to make just colossal base dice or click trays to move these Galactuses and everything else, Retaliators around.
Oh, geez, he should just make custom backpacks at that point in time. How big this Galactus is that we've seen, it's going to be a nightmare having to travel anywhere with it.
Yeah.
Do I put it in my carry-on? Do I put it in a checked bag?
Yeah, I'd be like, can I get a suitcase for that bad boy?
Absolutely. You're going to need to put it in a hard shell.
Yeah.
I hope it comes off the base, so maybe I can just bring the base and not the whole big
PJ
figure.
and us were talking about on Thursday was we hope it's like you don't have to snap it off like Supreme Intelligence.
Yeah, ugh.
But Aries, what about your weekend? How was it?
So when I'm not doing Heroclix or anything like that, I umpire baseball here in the New England area.
Oh, nice. That's cool. I've never I don't think I know anyone that umpires. That's just a neat thing that I don't know a lot of people that do that.
Yeah. So on the board that I'm on, we do most of Eastern Connecticut for high school and then in the summertime we do a lot of AAU stuff. I usually travel between Connecticut, Massachusetts, and Rhode Island to umpire baseball. This was our first weekend actually being able to do it, and it was 90 degrees out all weekend, and I literally just burnt. And it was you don't realize how much it has affected us being indoors and quarantined until you actually have to go outside and do physical stuff. And I think I'm just getting feeling back in my legs now after doing 5 games this weekend.
So are you a home base umpire or a base umpire?
It's usually, so I did 2 games on Saturday and 3 games on Sunday. So usually what happens when you do multiple games is you switch.
Okay.
One person will do the plate and the other person will do the bases. And then after that game is over, you'll go back to your cars, grab something to drink, and you would switch. The other person will put the gear on.
Okay, you'll rotate.
Bases. But now with everything happening with COVID,
I guess you can't.
Nobody's putting gear on and being close to the catcher behind home plate. We're actually having to call balls and strikes from behind the pitcher's mound, which is really weird.
Really?
And all of the mechanics are wrong. So because
the angle's got to be quite different from when you're staring at it coming at you versus you're looking at it going away from you.
Yeah, what I've told a lot of coaches is that we're having to do really, really fast geometry.
Yeah.
Because we need to know, if someone throws a curveball, I'm now thinking to myself, all right, he caught it here, but how far back is the catcher from the plate, and where's the front of the plate? Where's the batter standing in the batter's box? Is he farther up? So is that curveball catching his knee? You're literally having 100,000 things go through your mind, and then you have to then make the call quickly. And then on top of that, usually home plate has certain obligations and certain bases that they have to cover in certain scenarios. So now that's thrown out the window because you're standing right in the middle of what we call the working area. So now not only is your responsibility calling balls and strikes, but now you're actually having to run around a lot more to cover some of those other blind spots that we've created because of the pandemic. So we have a lot of work to still do to try and iron out some of these issues.
I was going to say that a lot of people don't know it's not where the catcher catches the ball, it's where the ball crosses the plate, because there's about a foot or two between. Because I was a catcher in high school, and I know little tricks to make it look like it was a strike. When you catch the ball and you twist the glove to get it into the strike zone. And when you're that far away from the plate, it's hard to tell. Like you were saying, I don't want to say you're guessing, but you're taking your best guess, I guess, if you want to call it, where the ball crossed the plate, not when the catcher caught it.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, like you just mentioned too, though, you have the understanding where you just said where you rotate the glove. A lot of these younger catchers or just catchers that haven't I guess, done it enough, they'll yank the shoulder over. So you have this big swooping motion with the shoulder instead of catching and then turning the glove with the wrist, which makes it look prettier, and you don't have all of this arm action waving around and making it look horrible.
Yeah.
But at that point in time, you're just like, all right, I just have to call the best that I can. These guys, I mean, it's their first time out on the field too. Usually by now I've got probably 30 or 40 games in, so I've knocked off a lot of rust and I've seen a lot of baseball. That was not the case this weekend, so it was interesting.
And then we're getting a little bit too much on baseball, but I was just curious. Do you have? I'm a sports guy, so this if this is the only baseball I can talk about this year, that's cool with me. But how do you do foul balls? Because I'm assuming it's just you and one other guy, but there's two lines you have to worry about.
Yep. So yeah, the left field line, the third base line. That, like I said, that's one of the blind spots that we have now.
Yeah.
Because I'm standing behind the mound, the other guy's in the first base line. That whole third base line is a blind spot. So it's literally I just have to get over there as fast as possible. If it's a hard shot down there and it looks somewhat good, okay, we're playing it. It's fair.
Oh, yeah, you're talking about if it fouls out past the baseline. Oh, yeah.
And with the majority of batters being righties, the third baseline is the most common line that would have to be called. But because they're running to first base, you have to have a first base umpire there to call the throwouts.
Yep.
It can.
I almost feel like you could just during this period you could use a third umpire just over there on the other edge.
Yeah, but they're not going to pay for it.
Yeah, that's the thing. They come out with all these regulations, but there's not enough in the budget to enforce the regulations.
No, I agree. That was my thought. That was my initial, this seems like an easy fix. Just putting an extra body.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing, too, is also right now, too, with certain boards and because of the pandemic, a lot of umpires aren't umpiring right now because of what their health regulations are and if they're high risk, if they have, if they're more susceptible to being sick. Like a lot of umpires are saying, nah, I'll take the year off and stay healthy.
Yeah.
So we're also kind of short-staffed at that point in time too. So we're just trying to get people out there and just trying to put the best product out there.
Yeah.
And luckily, a lot of the parents and coaches were understanding of that and just happy to be outside actually playing baseball instead of sitting around kind of doing nothing.
Be happy you have a season, unlike a lot of other sports out there.
Exactly. Just be happy that, and you have actual umpires that want to be out there umpiring.
Yeah.
Because a lot of us could have just been like, nah, we'll call it a wash. Like we're putting ourselves at risk. So
yeah. As for my weekend, I had another visitor come to my house on Saturday. If you listened to the show on Thursday, I had a huge snapping turtle come into my backyard and start digging to lay some eggs. So I relocated him to the creek that is behind my house, which is a very small creek, but it's probably, 100 feet, 150 feet away from the back of my house. So I was like, okay, buddy, go back into your stream and, float down the river. And Saturday I woke up at 5 o'clock like usual because my son wakes up then. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to look back there one more time just to be safe because I have a dog that I have to let out. And lo and behold, there he was again in the exact same, or I should say she, because she was laying eggs. I was like, seriously? Okay, that's it. So I had to wake up my wife. I'm like, hey, take Caden, take the dog. I got to relocate this turtle. So I took him to a park that's about 1.5 miles away from my park or from my house that has a huge pond. I'm like, here you go. Here's paradise. I don't ever want to see you again. And like I said, luckily I've watched enough shows, nature shows, how to pick up snapping turtles without them getting me. He came close once. I forgot that they got really long necks. But I just threw him in a tote and drived him there and said, enjoy your new life. So he should not be, if he comes back, it's personal after that. Because he's got about 3 roads to cross, and I don't know how he'd ever find me again. But that was my little visitor on Saturday. And then, as Dan mentioned, we did finally have our live event. We just did 400 points Modern Age. I played a Justice League team because I wanted to try out the rare Superman that I like so much, and he sucked for me. I had 2 occasions where I was going to do his Seismic Quake for 4, one attempt in Dan, and I think he rolled a 3, whiffed everybody.
Yeah, you whiffed pretty hard, but you So you had no support over there,
No.
and I'm like, it's like he's just rolling.
Yeah.
So if he whiffs, it's bad.
I mean, I needed a 7 to hit, I think, 3 people, and I rolled a 3.
Yeah.
And then in my other game against Dave, he played another Justice League team, but he had, I think, 8 people. He had like 3 Dr. Fates and stuff like that. And I set it up where I could have quaked 6 of his guys, probably killed most of them, and I roll a 3 again. I'm like, this Superman was just not meant to quake. It was
you need to get one of your buddies over there to like at least be able to theme team.
I need 7 both times. I'm like, it's an average roll. I can do it.
Which is a surprise for him because of his attack values being like way above average.
Yeah.
So like I was surprised that you needed a 7 most of the time to have to hit.
Yeah. So I was a little frustrated, but I tried the Prime Batman out, and he's really good. I also had a Green Arrow, I had Big Barda, and I had the Green Lantern LE John Stewart that can carry everybody that he wishes. So it was nice to play. We'll play again probably in 2 weeks, I think it was. But it was nice to see everybody finally again. So that was our week. Was there something else? There was one more thing I wanted to say. Last night I treated myself for Father's Day, and I finally ended up renting Sonic for the first time to watch it. And it was actually a pretty good movie.
Really good.
Yeah. If you guys know the story about when Sonic first was coming out, they had a design for Sonic, and everyone completely hated it. So the studio surprisingly actually went back and redid the character to make him look more like the video game Sonic. And it looks, I think they nailed it on the head. But I would like to see them do a release where it had the old Sonic, just so they could compare the two.
But the old one didn't even look like Sonic at all.
It was like a human Sonic. It was weird looking.
Yeah.
Super long legs.
He had like teeth and everything. It was creepy.
Yeah, it was like if you're going to do, like, Sonic the Hedgehog's not a physical character, why are we trying to make this, like, live action like, no. If you're going to go CG, I don't think it's that far to just take it to where it needs to go.
Yeah,
and make Sonic look like Sonic.
Yeah, and then the guy, if anybody watches Parks and Recreation, John Ralphio is the guy that does the voice for Sonic, and I thought he did a pretty good job on that. But yeah, and Jim Carrey was, usual Jim Carrey, went over the top for playing Dr. Robotnik, or Dr. Robotnik.
It was so good, though.
It was. It was almost too over the top, in my opinion, but it's Jim Carrey. He's going to go over the top all the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was our week. So now we're going to get into a little bit of news. Actually, I should say we have a lot of news to talk about.
That's because it's preview time.
All right, so we have a ton of previews to talk about. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 previews to talk about, and in my opinion, they're all great. I'm getting super psyched for this set. So the figures we're going to talk about are Hydro Man, Dragon Man, Agent Venom, Doctor Doom, the Doombot, Wizard, Sandman, and my personal favorite, the Skrull General. So we're getting Skrulls back finally. But first, we're going to start off with Ares, and he is going to take Hydro Man. So Ares, tell us a little bit about Hydro Man.
All right, so we got Hydro Man here. His keywords are Frightful Four, Masters of Evil, and Sinister Syndicate. He has a trait here called Frightful Four, Opposing Tide, unique modifier. Opposing characters modify damage by -1 when making a range attack that targets 1 plus friendly characters with the Frightful Four keyword. I think this is I think this is one of those ones that goes over all of the Frightful Four. They have some sort of matching trait for some of these.
It's a different modifier, but it modifies something like because Sandman's is -1 damage against close attacks.
Yeah, so they all have some sort of a Frightful Four unique modifier built into them. He's got a 4 range. He's got the dolphin speed symbol, the normal fist in your attack. He is indomitable, and he has a normal starburst for his damage at 75 points. He has a special attack power called Drowned on Dry Land. Poison, Smoke Cloud. When Hydra Man uses Smoke Cloud, he generates water markers instead, and after resolutions, he can use poison at no cost and considers opposing characters occupying his water markers adjacent for poison. So he has that on the first 4 clicks of his dial. The last 2 clicks, he's got Pulse Wave. Top dial, he's really, really good. He's got Charge for 10, 11 with that special attack power. He's got 17 with Impervious and 3 with Shape Change. So he's got 2 rollouts there. Hopefully the person you're playing against doesn't have like Penetrating Psychic Blast or Exploit Weakness. So it will give you the full 2 rollouts.
And he's also got Indom, and he goes through Hindering Terrain, right?
Yes, he does have improved moving Hindering Terrain, which also, as we all know, is also improved movement water terrain.
So they just got rid of improved water terrain, correct?
I don't think they ever actually had improved water. It was
there was one person that had it.
There's like the new Flash from Rebirth. One of them has it.
Yeah, there's a speedster with improved movement through water. I want to say it was like the Whizzer.
Well, now I gotta look it up eventually.
There's it's the Chinese Flash. I believe she has it from Rebirth.
There's a couple speedsters that have it. It's just kind of weird.
It's awkward.
Yeah.
But no, I think he's cool. I like that he's also not a prime.
Yeah.
Yes.
This time, so I do dig that.
The sculpt is really good too. I enjoy the sculpt.
Yeah.
I wish he would have had the Sinister Syndicate team ability.
Yeah, that was what I think I felt the same way about Sandman, but I think it's because they're trying to focus on the Frightful Four.
That's true.
aspect.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
I think that's probably why they haven't had the Sinister Syndicate on there, is because they're pushing the Frightful Four, as we are going to see in some of the other previews coming up.
Yeah.
I think the only other thing, I guess they could have given him maybe Wild Card, I guess, possibly. No, I don't know, but because he's also on Masters of Evil, so I was like, that could be a thing.
Yeah.
I mean, they could have even just given him the Masters of Evil.
True.
Which could have given him the Colossal Stamina, basically, there.
I mean, he's fun. He's not anything special. He'll be a fun figure to play.
He's solid for the points, though.
Yeah, but unfortunately, that's what everybody is nowadays. I mean, look at that Gorgon for, 45 points?
Yeah.
I mean, pretty soon they're going to have to start making competitive play 200 points and not 300 points.
But at least for this stuff, I like it because it's all single-based characters, and it's just, I don't know, I like because it's all stuff that's on the field.
Well, and I like the fact that they're making them lower points because then you can play more figures.
Exactly.
You're not sinking your whole team into 2 or 3 figures.
Yeah.
Yes. It's giving you an opportunity to field a good-sized army without having to play, 5 ID cards or something to make it feel like you're getting your money's worth by having a full team.
Yeah. And I've always had that problem where I've always said I've maybe played 10%, 20% of my entire library of clicks. So this way, with them being lower pointed and still be able to compete with other figures, I feel like I'm getting my money's worth by getting these figures.
Which you'd be happy that the Super Skrull was finally revealed with the updated documents from that Gamers magazine. He's 100 points top dial. So.
Oh yeah. Well, you kind of all assumed that too.
Well, but you never know. It is.
Yeah, you never know.
I love it. That's a saying. Well, you never know. It is WizKids.
Well, we'll talk about Skrull General, or I'll talk about what they did with him, but we'll leave that for later. But anything else about Hydra Man? He'll be cool. He's got the nice keywords. He'll be fun.
I think he's a monster when it comes to sealed events.
For sealed,
especially
yes.
Being able to do that poison from with the smoke cloud.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah.
I like the fact that they're giving water people, I shouldn't say a lot of water people, but that Black Manta from Rebirth where he gives the poison dart ones, this one. They're doing more poison from range than up close now, which I kind of like because it makes water people just more annoying, and it makes sense.
Yeah, it gives them, I don't know.
Water people have never gotten their due. They've never gotten their due.
Well, plus he has the dolphin symbol, right, Ares, too?
Yeah, he does a dolphin symbol.
If you put him in water, he's at least 18 from range with shape change. So, yes. I mean, he's not going to be super easy to hit. It's still good. That 17 is kind of what's the word, like deceiving because of he's got a dolphin, so you just park him in some water, or you do his smoke cloud and then park him there because it's still water terrain.
Yeah, and he's got 17 across the board. He does not drop below a 17.
Yeah, I mean, his attack never goes below a 10 either.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I wish the big picture with the water characters is I don't feel like we get enough maps that have water.
True.
You have plenty of hindering, you have plenty of elevation and things like that. I mean, you'll get one map here or there that is, pretty saturated with water, but you just don't see a lot of maps that is like, and then you don't have enough characters really to sink in to benefit a full like water team. They tried to,
unless you're playing Atlantis or something like that. You're not going to make a theme team really.
But even then, when they did actually have a lot of Atlanteans, did you look at it and go, "Oh yeah, I could be competitive with this team"? Not really.
The only one ever was the mermaids with the rare Laura or whatever, where she makes the mermaids blow up.
Yes,
that was about it.
But then again, you're kind of like, all right, so I'm kind of like a one-trick pony, right? I'm just trying to blow up dolphins.
Yeah.
That sounds horrible, but PETA shouldn't listen to this.
Oh, no.
But,
no dolphins were harmed in the making of the show.
No.
All right, so that is Hydro Man, and next we're going to talk about one that I'm excited for, just because we haven't had him since Avengers, the first carded set, and that's Dragon Man, who I think looks amazing. You're definitely going to know if he's in your booster. He's going to be like a MODOK.
Yeah, he's going to be a brick.
Yeah,
yeah,
so
absolutely.
We got Dragon Man. He is a super rare, number 052. He's got the Circus of Crime, Enforcers, Frightful 4, Negative Zone, Monster, Mystical, and Robot keywords. He's got one trait called the Frightful 4 Property Damage. Friendly characters with the Frightful 4 keyword have free. If this character is adjacent to printed square of blocking terrain, generate a light object. So cool, he'll always have a light object with him.
You generate it next to you, so you're not holding it.
Oh, that's true. That's a good point.
Yeah.
He has an attack power called Mystical Breath and more. Energy Explosion, Penetrating Psyblast, and Super Strength. So that's cool.
That's an amazing throwback to his old dial where he had Running Shot, Super Strength. So that's an amazing touch-up for them to do that.
And then he has a defense power called Recharge the Batteries. Invuln. Free. Heal Dragon Man equal to the number of adjacent squares of printed blocking terrain, then destroy that terrain. So you want to play him on maps that have blocking terrain, and he can heal up pretty good. So
I think, does that mean walls count, or is it's specifically squares? So that would have to be the full square blocking.
It'd be so walls wouldn't count, I don't think.
Yeah. So get your hedge-mates maps.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not bad for him. I mean, he's a giant, so
Yep.
So he's got 2-point values, 120 and 75. At 120, you're starting off with a 10 running shot, 11 with that Mystical Breath and more. Then he's got an 18 invincible with a 4 damage. He is a flyer, he is indomitable, he is a giant, and he has a 6 range. And then at that 75-point line, which I think you're going to play him more at, he's got a 10 charge, 11 quake, 18 impervious, and a 4 damage exploit. So if he can make himself, or he doesn't even have to make an object, he can just pick up an object and possibly do 6 straight to you if you have any kind of reducers.
Is that super strength on that second line, or is it quake?
The quake, but he has. Oh, I'm sorry, that's right. He has the mystical breath and more as a attack power. So, but he's still doing. He can do 5 to you. He can pick up a light object.
Oh yeah, I think the only reason I like the top line more is because he can shift from that running shot, and then say he gets hit. Yeah, that's fine. But now he's a charged brick, and that's fine. Like, I don't know. It's just Heroclix always starts as a range game, so I kind of like that top line a little bit more than the charging brick, only because he's a giant, so he's a big sitting duck.
Yeah. Because
you can see him from pretty much wherever, unless it's an indoor map.
Yeah. No, I like him. He's not going to be anything meta or anything like that, but he'll be, again, another one fun to play.
Yeah, he's another good sealed character. Yeah, if it was the old rules where you could use Energy Explosion and Penetrating Psychic Blast,
yes,
I would like that a little more. Just because, I mean, I think then you're getting your money's worth with him being able to splash 2 penetrating.
I guess, but I just like the fact that he has that many options.
Absolutely.
It's like, and then say you you come at him, and so like I running shot with him, pick up a heavy on my way, and then someone comes and tries to punch him and misses. Oh, I'm just gonna drop this heavy on you with my super strength and do 6.
Yeah.
So I mean, I know he's an 18, but like with the amount of perplex you can get nowadays, I feel like I could make him survive, and or you might miss and whiff, and then okay, well I'm gonna hit you for 6 now because you're next to me.
Yeah. But yeah. He's got that Circus of Crime, which the only other person I can think of that had that was that like a Jericho.
It's an old keyword that they had not used in years. So I think there's going to be other pieces in the set that are going to be getting that keyword.
Yeah, and then
I like the
negative zone's an odd one too.
There you go. I was just going to say that too.
Yeah, there's not really any. I feel I'm curious if we're going to get an Annihilus in this set, but
oh please God. We haven't had an Annihilus in forever.
Well, Guardians of the Galaxy was the last one.
Yeah,
so
forever. 8 years ago.
It's been a while, but I'd be excited for that. But again, it's this Fantastic Four. It's just such a. They have so much ground that they can pull from. It's how broad do they want to go, because they're already looking like they're expanding past the traditional Fantastic Four and doing the newer the Circle of Four and the new Fantastic Four with like the starter set of like Spider-Man, Hulk, Wolverine, and who's the Ghost Rider. So
yeah, Black Panther's in there too. I think X-23 is.
So I feel like they were trying to walk that fine line of bringing in those memorable characters, but still trying to give enough diversity. So it's how big of a net are they casting with this set?
Yeah. All right, well, that is Dragon Man, and next is going to be one of Dan's favorite ones that is going to come up, and that is going to be the Agent of Venom. So I'm going to have Dan take this one away. Tell us about Agent Venom, Dan.
All right, so this is really exciting because I'm happy to have an Agent Venom in Modern so that I can play. I mean, we had the one from Avengers Infinity, but this one's much more reasonably costed for the price. So he is a super rare 055. He comes in at 75 or 50 points. He has got 6 range with 1 target, the team player team ability. He's got improved movement, hindering, and elevated, of course, because he is a symbiote, and he's a Spider-Man family. So his keywords are Codex, which the Codex it looks like it's filtering from this set, obviously, into the Absolute Carnage set. So basically the Codex keyword is going to be anybody that's bonded or had been bonded to a symbiote at any point in time. So... And then, obviously, the Fantastic Four keyword, Shield, Spider-Man Family, Thunderbolts, Monster, and Soldier. I think the reason they gave them the Fantastic Four keyword was they were the Circle of Four, which was like a new take on the Fantastic Four. But I think they just simplified it to that instead, so you have more playability. So he's got 3 traits and a special attack power. His first trait is, obviously, it's called Circle of Four. It's if Agent Venom hasn't been moved or placed this turn, modify attack and damage +1. Which is pretty dope. I can just stand there and, I'm now 12 for 4 just for not moving. I like it. His second trait is call in help from me. I love this trait. So it's once per turn. When another friendly character that shares a keyword with Agent Venom hits, after resolutions, roll a d6. 3 to 6, place Jason Venom adjacent to a hit or to a hit opposing character, which I think is awesome. He is a more ranged piece, but he's got that symbiote trait. They did take away the automatic breakaway, but it's still plasticity shape change. So he's got much better breakaway than normal. I'm a little curious if they're just taking away that automatic breakaway from the symbiote trait and just going to make it plasticity shape change, or if this was just like a one-off for this set. So I'm a little curious. And then he's got a special damage power, which is the Venomist. Adjacent friendly characters can use shape change. So for 75 points, because you're not getting a top dial at 50, everybody on your team gets shape change as long as they're next to him, which I think is awesome. So I'm down for that.
They doing that recently. They like to give. Oh, I shouldn't say recently, because isn't Miles West the next set? He has that ability. Yeah.
And then there was Keene from Captain America and the Avengers. So, but it's characters that fit. Like, I don't know so much about Miles West because he's a original character. He's not even from the comics. Yeah. So, but I mean, for him, that's fitting. I totally could see working. So, He starts as a running shot, energy explosion, invuln with that special damage power for 2 clicks, and then his 50 line starts on click 3, which is sidestep, blades, super senses, and perplex, which is pretty good. Because again, with that placing trait, he doesn't have to always worry about having like consistent move and attack, because you just hit with your other character and then he poofs over. So, and then his fourth click is running shot, EE, toughness, and that special damage, and then the last 2 click again are sidestep, blades, super senses, and perplex. His defensive stats for me are super consistent and just good. Like, he never goes below a 17, and even his last click is an 18. His damage does go down to 2, but he's got blades on his back dial, so I'm fine with just rolling blades and seeing what happens. So for me, with all of his keywords and everything in his point cost, I'm going to run him all the time. So that's just something people are going to like. I'll probably get some flack for it, but I was like, he's really good for the points for 75. He's not meta, I don't think, but I like him, and I think it's a very good iteration of the character.
Is this the Agent Venom you've been waiting for? Like I was talking about, or
it's pretty dang close. Like they didn't. It's just funny because I was like comparing him to Blade, and like Blade has way better stats and stuff for 75 points, but he's still really good, and he's got a lot of tools in the chest there. So, and he's a big team player, a lot more than Blade is. So I like him better. So he's really as close as I'm going to get without being like, they made him broken for the points, like, or like they super undercosted something. That's where I'm at with this. Is they made him really good for what he does. So,
yeah. I think you said it too. I don't think he's going to be meta, but again, he's going to be a fun figure to play.
Yeah, like I said, that's why I'm going to play him all the time, because he's got good keywords that I can run on a bunch of different teams, and he'll just be like, for me, he's just consistent. He's always going to be able to do something down his dial. Like he never to me doesn't have a bad click. Like either he's got a reducer or he's got shape change super senses.
Yeah,
that to me is not bad. So,
nah, I see him being paired up with the super rare Spider-Man from the Captain America and the Avengers team. I think those two paired up is really good.
Yeah, or I kind of like the new hypersonic one from the Carnage set.
Mm-hmm.
Because you just hyper over, whack a bunch of guys, and then he pops over. So I like that, because I also have all the Venom chases, and I'm gonna get the ones from Carnage. So like they all have the call and help from the Venomverse, and then he's just kind of gravy on that already, or like icing on that already iced cake, because they have it, and then he can do it again in the same turn. So I mean, I dig that. That's really cool. He's just a very good like synergy figure, and I love that.
Yeah, I just hope they make his web markers and everything nice and sturdy. They're not going to snap off easily.
Yeah,
that's the only thing that concerns about me with his sculpt, because he's shooting out one and then he's holding on to another web on his other hand.
He's definitely mid swing, so yeah, that does make me slightly nervous, but
yeah. All right, we aren't even halfway through. So next one we're going to talk about, and Aries is going to take the next two, and that's going to be, we have a Dr. Doom and we have a Doombot. So Aries, take it away.
All right, so we got Dr. Doom here. It's an uncommon. It's unique. 021. Keywords are Cabal, Latveria, Armor, Mystical, Politician, Ruler, and Scientist. He has a trait that is an additional 5 points. So he has 2 lines, 95 and 45. If you were to play this trait, it puts him at an even 150. The trait is, why do all your robots look like you again?
Did you say 150, or would he be 100 points?
100 or 50.
100, okay, 100 or 50.
Yeah. So, when placing characters during game setup, place Dr. Doom on this card and generate 2 number 005 Doombots in your starting area. This game, when a friendly 005 Doombot is KO'd, you may immediately place Dr. Doom from this card into their square, and must do so if no other friendly Doombots is on the map. While Dr. Doom is on this card, 005 Doombots can use leadership. So basically it's kind of a placeholder. You have a Doombot that can run around. As soon as he gets KO'd, this guy drops into his spot. So it kind of keeps your Dr. Doom safe for a little bit, and then like I don't know, little mid-game stuff. You can, sacrifice a Doombot, kind of drop in Doom. So it's a nice little play that you could use. He also has another trait called My Robots Often Confuse My Foes. Leadership, Mastermind. When Dr. Doom uses leadership and succeeds, instead of normal effect, you may generate a number 005 Doombot, which we've seen that with kind of like the lackeys and the flunkies from like Earth X and Batman the Animated Series, where instead of the normal effects, you could bring in, a hired henchman or, the pogs there. I forget what they were calling. They were just called hired goons or whatever.
Yeah, they were just hired flunkies.
Flunkies.
There you go.
So I think, but the only thing with his is that those Doombots actually then cost points.
Yes, absolutely. So if you bring in that number 005, you can give up those points. Absolutely.
Yeah, so I think that's the only, I like it. I like that he has traded leadership mastermind. I think that's the only drawback for me is you're bringing in extra points that can get KO'd, but their damage power is so good though.
Absolutely. So he starts top dial on his 95 point with a 9 with running shot, a 12 with pulse wave, an 18 with toughness, and a 3 with outwit. He does have a 6 range with 2 targets. He is only a foot character, a standard, so he isn't a flyer or anything like that. He has the standard attack symbol as well. He's indomitable, and he has the standard starburst as well. He does have the Minions of Doom team ability, which has been changed, and it is printed right on the card for you, which says when this character KOs a standard opposing character after resolutions, heal 1 click on a friendly character using this team ability. So the more that you KO, the more you can heal back your characters.
Oh man, he could really hurt a Pog team, or just if you have retail that he kills, that could be real gnarly.
Absolutely. I mean, if you need some quick healing, you just go ahead and...
I thought it was like 1 or more. I didn't realize it was only for each one. That's pretty good. I like that, actually. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and then on his second starting line, he starts with an 8 with running shot, an 11 with energy explosion, 17 with toughness, and 3 with enhancement. He's bookended on his dial. So the beginning of his dial, he's got outwit. On the end of his dial, his last click, he also has outwit. All those in between, he's got enhancement. He's got really strong attack values, 12, 3 11s, and then 3 10s at the end. He's always moving. He's got running shot and sidestep throughout the dial as well. So, I mean, he's really good. I like that he's unique, too, because I could see this being abused pretty quickly.
Yeah, there could be some shenanigans, yeah.
Definitely some shenanigans.
I feel like the opening click is just kind of a callback to his unique from Fantastic Forces. I think it was 9, 12, 17 with Invuln, but I think that's just like hey, remember me from back in the way day when I used to be an amazing pulse waver?
Yeah, well, here I am, and I can still pulse wave pretty good.
Because he could just call in the Doombots, and then when they die, he just pops in, and he's top dial pulse wave. So
absolutely.
I mean, that could be kind of nutty. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And so then we go over to the Doombot, which is a 2-click figure. It's 15 points. This one is a flyer, has the standard attack, is the standard defense as well, not indomitable. Standard starburst, 5 range, does have the Minions of Doom team ability as well. So even if he does take a hit, you can heal him back. So you can kind of ping pong him around and keep him going if he can KO stuff. Does have a trait, the Real Doom, or for all characters. Excuse me, it's not a trait. It is his special damage power. It's called the Real Doom, or for all characters with this power, when a friendly character with the Latveria or Ruler keywords would be targeted by an opponent's attack or use of Outwit or Perplex, you may roll a d6. On a 4 through 6, that opponent chooses an untargeted 005 Doombot to become the target instead. The new target must be legal, and you don't choose a power for Outwit until after a new target is chosen. So it's kind of like he gets to bounce out of it. If you target him for Outwit Perplex, you can roll a 4 through 6, and if you roll that, they can't target them with that Outwit or Perplex. So it's kind of almost like a makeshift shape change almost.
It's kind of
those powers.
You're targeted with outwit. Is it outwit or an attack? I think.
Yeah, it's would be targeted by an opponent's attack or use of outwit or perplex. So it's kind of, like I said, it's kind of a weird makeshift shape change. I can roll out of the attack, or I can just roll out of you using outwit or perplex.
It reminds me of the what was it, the lantern battery thing, right? Because that used to give you the like pseudo protected outwit.
Yeah,
that feels like the same thing, which is for a 15-point generic thing that can get generated. I'm like, that's amazing.
Oh, yeah.
And on top,
15 points, these are amazing figures.
And he's also 10-3, so that's not nothing to sniff at.
I was going to say, he can also still deal out some damage. So, I mean, you can set him up to where you're like, all right, I'm just going to run him out there. I'm going to try and damage as much as I can. And when he does die, I'm just going to drop in my Doom, and I'm good to go. Like, I don't have to worry about it.
Exactly, because you're like, well, I have 12 attack pulse wave. That's fine.
Exactly. And I've got outwit that top dial, too.
Yeah.
So if I need to outwit somebody for their next, for the next turn go around, I'm set up with an outwit deep enough to where I can target probably just about anybody I need to. It's in range.
Yeah, but I do like that they did the once per turn for all characters with that special ability, basically, right? With that like weird protection damage power thing they have.
It just says for all characters with this power. It doesn't say once per.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I would think for all characters with this power, once you use it, doesn't that then mean you can't use it again? Because it's like, once it's been used, the other characters don't get access to it.
I believe you're right, yeah.
Yeah, because you
By the way it's worded.
Otherwise, you could just keep circling it around until they don't have a legal target.
True.
Exactly.
So I was like, that could be kind of bad. So I appreciate that they put that wording in there.
Yeah, but it's also a way, too, where if you stagger the Doombots,
yep,
if you keep that one out front and he gets to roll for that and hits it, if there isn't a legal target, it's just gone.
Yeah.
I feel like this Doombot's going to be another one of those, like what the Fates are going for. He's going to be like a $6 or $8 common.
Or the Thanos duplicates. Yeah. They're gonna. Yeah, it's going to be. Yeah.
I mean, they might start off that way, and then, I mean, let me rephrase that. They're going to stay that way.
Yeah.
Just because it's Doom as well.
Yes.
Like, I didn't take that into consideration.
Yes, you are.
I haven't seen Doombots in a long time. People love Dr. Doom. Exactly.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm happy that they actually went with like solid plastic instead of just like a Doom
or something like that.
Yeah. Not that I don't like the Pog mechanic, but just for certain things, I feel like it's too iconic that like having more pieces on the board for something like that is cool.
Yeah, they've done Doombots in the past. I don't think that there would be any reason for them to skimp out and not do Doombots.
Yeah.
It's just it's a win. They're going to be collected. People are going to want multiples of them. It's too easy of a win for WizKids to put that out with that.
Yeah.
Hired flunky, like, all right, it's just some generic goon. I mean, even the Batman the Animated Series, hired guy.
The suited henchmen's.
There you go, suited henchman. He got, a dial because it was 7 or 6 different dials. So that made sense in that case. But with the Earth X hired flunkies, it's just very generic, pop a guy out. Yeah, Doombots hopefully would never go down to a Pog.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the only thing, like, I've heard about this being talked about a little bit was, like, why they didn't get multiple starting lines, to just pick a different, like, you could pick one at the beginning of the game or whatever, and that's it. I thought that would have been kind of neat, because, I mean, I feel like they can do more than just shoot. I mean, obviously they could punch, too, but they're their power set isn't optimized to go punch. They start very shooty because they're obviously running shot energy explosion.
Mm-hmm.
But somebody's like, oh, they should have autonomous, and I'm like, 15.
Nope.
That's way too much.
The thing that sticks out to me is it says specifically on Doom's card number 005 Doombot.
Yeah.
Which makes me think that we could see a Doombot that is a little more beefy that may have a couple more starting lines.
Okay, yeah.
So that's what I'm thinking, is that there may be a super Doombot. There may be something that gives us a little more versatility, or maybe they're even thinking down the road in the future sets that maybe we do Doombot again and we make it like the suited henchman, but a little stronger. That's why they made it very specific, the 005 Doombot.
I can see that. That was something that I saw mentioned, and I'm like, okay, I could kind of see something like, obviously not the autonomous thing, but the starting lines, I was like, oh, that might be, but I don't think he'll be able to generate any other Doombots because it has the set like name along with the number, so like he'll only be able to generate the ones from this set. I didn't know if that's what you were getting at, Aries, or if it was something else you were meaning.
No, I think he was more going like if they were going to make a prime version of this that did like a Doombot 2.0 or something like that. But these don't. This isn't 005A. It's just 005. So
it might make a common Doombot, or excuse me, an uncommon Doombot that's a little stronger than just the common Doombot.
Oh
so
yeah.
They didn't want to have any confusion of which Doombot this Dr. Doom was calling in.
Oh yeah. No, I get what you're saying now.
Yeah. All right. Well, that is Doom and his Doombot, and now we got 3 more to go through. The next one is the Wizard, which I don't think we've seen him since Sinister way back in the day. So this guy has some tech, so bear with me. So Wizard has the Frightful 4 and the, I can never pronounce this word. How do you say this one?
Which one?
The intellect.
Oh, sorry.
Keyword.
Hold on.
Intelligentsia?
Thank you. And then scientist keyword.
Bit there.
He's got 2 traits. Excuse me. The first one is called Form the New Frightful 4, which is basically what Sue Storm does with the Fantastic Four. At the beginning of the game, you may replace up to 4 friendly characters with the same number of characters from your sideline on their starting clicks. All replacement and replacement characters must have the Frightful 4 keyword and different names. The total points of the replacement characters can't exceed the total points of the replaced characters, which is kind of like the Wait, That's Not Superman trait from way back in the day. And then this is just the evil version of that Sue Storm does, which is cool because when you see what your opponent has, you'd be like, nope, I'm going to play these guys instead and counter your team.
It's much better because you have more, not necessarily like utility, but just the amount of options that you can swap because you're only swapping from like a pool of point total. You're like, they don't have to be like equivalent. Like you can swap a 75-point guy for a 50-point and a 25-point guy or whatever. I really like this mechanic a lot of being able to have pieces on my sideline, and then I see what I'm facing. Go, oh yeah, I totally need to switch up my strategy.
Yeah. He has another trait called Frightful 4. You meddling fools are no match for my intellect. Friendly characters with the Frightful 4 keyword within range and line of fire have protected outwitch. That's nothing to look over. He's basically, you can't outwit me.
Do you see his range?
Yeah, a 7.
Yeah.
And then he has a damage power called Intellect to Spare. Leadership, Outwit, Perplex. When he uses leadership, on a result of a 4, choose Outwit or Perplex. This turn, Wizard can use the chosen power twice. So that's amazing. So he has Outwit and Perplex already, and then if he rolls a 4, you can choose one of those and use it twice. So he's coming in at 75 points. He is a flyer. He does not have Indomitable. He does have a 7 range, and he's starting off. So for 75 points, you're getting a 11 running shot, 11 precision strike, 18 toughness, and then 3 damage with that special power. And then he is the Minions of Doom team ability, which is interesting.
Which is pretty cool, because so think about that. You have a 13 swing just by himself, because you move 6, and then you shoot for 7. And then if he gets his 4 on that leadership, he could technically double Perplex his damage to 5. So I'm like, oh, that could just be... Like, I would not have expected that out of this guy, but I was looking at it as you were reading it off, and I'm like, oh, that's just a lot.
Yeah, I don't think I mentioned he is a rare. He's 045 or 045. But, he's got solid numbers through his entire thing. He starts off with 2 running shot at 11s, and then 10 sidestep, and then 9 with mind control, and then he's got 2 with precision strike, and then 4 TK, 2 toughness, then 17s with ESD, and then 3 damage for 2 clicks with that power, then 2 RC and 2 perplex. So he is going to be doing a lot no matter where he is hit. But just the fact that he's a support figure and also not your primary attacker, but he is still a very good attacker for what he does.
Yeah, he's definitely getting through a lot of stuff. I
Yeah.
mean, he can help you Super Sense +2 with the precision strike. And yeah, he can deal some pretty big damage if the rolls go your way.
Yeah, I mean he can crack impervious, which is nice. Because you're at least taking 1, so that I like. I like that if you pull him and Dragon Man's just not gonna. You can't outwit Dragon Man. It's like, nope, sorry, dude. He's gonna always be able to see him unless you're on an indoor map and you didn't position. Yeah. But I mean, he could be good in sealed. I think in sealed for sure he'll be good.
Yeah, and he's a character you want to kind of hang in the back so that you do get that protected outwit. But then if you do need him to attack, you can come on up and take a swing at somebody. But again, he's not going to be meta. But again, another fun guy for the Frightful Four to play with. All right, so that's pretty much the wizard. And then we are going to have Dan talk about Sandman. So Dan, take it away.
This is pretty cool. We got another Sandman. So we had one in Earth X last year in 2019, and now we got another one. So he comes in at 75 points. He's got 4 range with 1 target. The Minions of Doom team ability, he is the rare 044. He has the Frightful Four and Sinister Syndicate team build, keywords. So I was a little shocked that he had Minions of Doom, but I feel like they're focusing on the Frightful Four aspect more of him than the Sinister Syndicate. He's got a trait and a special attack power. His trait is Frightful Four, Dune, Sandstorm, unique modifier. Opposing characters modify damage -1 on making a close attack that targets a friendly character with the Frightful Four keyword. So that's board wide. So just whenever anybody's close attacking, they just have -1 damage, which, I mean, he starts with Impervious, so like, oh, you have 3 damage? Well, now you have 2, and I'm not taking anything.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. His special attack power that he gets on clicks 1 through 4 is Sandblast, Quake, Smoke Cloud. When Sandman uses Smoke Cloud, after resolutions, he can use Quake at no cost, but may also target any opposing characters occupying or adjacent to his hindering markers, regardless of adjacency. So the cool thing that I like about that is, say he gets based, he can still Smoke Cloud, and then he can Quake where he is, and then also all of his Smoke Cloud.
Yeah.
So for me, that's kind of nuts with that area of effect. Just because you can throw the Smoke Cloud out there pretty far.
Yeah.
And then, or just like cover a lot of ground with it, and then Quake, and you can Quake a lot of people. So, I mean, for 75 points, that's pretty good, at least for me. Like, I think that's a very neat, it's a very like good utility power to just have for an offensive attacker. So, and it's something I don't think opponents might catch right away. And then, so his style is 2 clicks of charge, then 2 clicks of sidestep, then 2 clicks of plasticity, and then he's got, for attack powers, he's got 4 clicks of that special attack power, and then 2 clicks of pulse wave at the end. And then his defense powers go 1 click of impervious, 2 clicks of invuln, and 3 clicks of toughness, and he's a 17 across the board, so just really consistent stats. And then his damage is 4 clicks of 3 damage with shape change, and then the last 2 clicks are 2 damage, exploit weakness. So, and he also moves through hindering, if I didn't cover that. So he's not super hindered by terrain, which is nice. Like, just being able to walk through the bushes, no problem, I like. So, I like him. I think he's pretty neat for 75 points. Again, in sealed, he could potentially be a bomb that you just don't see coming.
The funny thing about him and Hydro Man is they have the exact same dial.
I was going to say that the exact same
powers and stats are the exact same. The only thing that's changed with him are the Frightful Four trait and his Sandblast.
Yeah, I like that they're mirror image of each other. I think that's kind of neat. It's cute. Some people might not like that, but
The only thing that bugs me is that he got the Minions of Doom team ability and Hydro Man didn't.
Yeah, like he didn't get anything, so that's why I was like, he could have gotten a team ability. Why didn't he?
Yeah.
But yeah, he's pretty good. Good old William Baker. He's got a good amount of stuff going on. So, he won't be meta, but again, if I pull him, I'll probably play him.
Yeah, he's like one of your sealed second attackers. That's what he is.
Yeah.
He's gonna go in there. Hopefully, he rolls out with a shape change or an impervious, and you just you go from there.
Yeah, I just think that special attack power is deceiving. Like that's once you get all your guys bunched up, and then he's like, I'm just gonna smoke cloud under your entire team, and then just quake 8 people at a time. That could be pretty nuts.
All right, and then the last figure we're going to talk about is my personal favorite so far, and that is the Skrull General 040. So he is a rare. Keywords, he's got the Skrulls and Soldier. He's got one trait called Invasion Plans from the Skrull Empire. When a friendly character uses Shape Change and succeeds, the attacker can't choose a new target with the Skrull keyword. So they're going to have to errate that because there is no Skrull keyword. There's a Skrulls keyword. So they just
Which is kind of funny because, like, I feel like Skrull, the word would be better terminology, like grammatically, because you don't usually refer to like a race with an S, like for like plural. It's like. I've always like understood the plural just be like, so Skrull would be the plural term.
Yeah.
So that's because like you don't call the Shi'ar the Shi'ars.
The Shi'ars.
So I'm like, oh, they could have just actually done Skrull, and that would have made more sense.
Yeah. So as worded right now, that trait is useless until it gets errated, which it will. And then he has a damage power called. But that first trait is amazing because you're never not going to play this guy on a Skrulls theme team. And that's just not his shape change. That's a friendly character's shape change. So, all Skrulls have shape change due to the Skrull TA. So, if you can get that off enough times, and people don't have Pulse Wave or Battle Fury, you're not hitting that team.
Well, it's like you just have to get the first one, and as long as you're running a Skrulls team.
Yeah. And I feel like there's going to be enough generic Skrulls in here that you're just going to put out in the front and hope that you get that. And then it's like, okay, you can't attack my entire team for your turn. Pass. Let me do my thing.
Yep.
I love that because I'm a Skrulls guy, and you're going to be seeing me play plenty of Skrulls teams coming up.
I'm a very big Skrulls guy as well. I have a whole bunch that are just locked up waiting to be played.
Yep, I have a whole tackle box full of Skrulls that from back in the good old days. And then he has a damage power called Deploying Infiltration Pods to Key Locations. Leadership, friendly characters with the Skrull keyword have the... Is it the
Underworld?
Underworld. So they're carrying themselves and each other. Which is great.
Think that's, like he's also a really good taxi now.
Yeah.
On top. And did you see his point value, by the way?
30 points!
Yeah.
For 30 points, you're basically getting... If you get your shape change, you can't do anything. Pass. And his stats are great, too. He's got a 9 stealth, 10 attack, 17 willpower, and a 3 damage with that damage power. He's got a 6 range. But he also ends with a 7 sidestep, 11 energy explosion, 16 toughness, and a 3 damage leadership. For 30 points, this guy is. I think he's insane.
I like him. I think he's pretty cool for that. I don't like. I feel like he's a must play on a Skrull team.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're just like, I'm gonna work the 30 points in there somewhere.
Even if, in my own opinion, even if he was 50 points, I think he's worth it. Just for alone that you can't target my team if I get my first shape change.
Yeah, as long as you're Skrull, anyway. As long as you're that. I mean...
But I don't think you're ever not going to play him. Like, you're not going to play a soldier team with this guy.
I guess if I needed, like, cheap leadership...
Yeah.
I might do it.
Yeah.
Like, his 30 points for leadership. And he can and he can maybe carry something because he can give himself Underworld. So that might be a thing. But I mean, otherwise, Skrull would be the way to go.
Yeah. No, I love this guy. I'm gonna have to get at least 2 of this guy because you're gonna want for 60 points they have multiple of him. I think is worth it. And then we don't even know what the other Skrulls in the set are, but so far the 2 Skrulls that they have shown, I'm liking a lot.
Yeah, they're solid.
Yeah.
And they can do a lot with them too. I mean, you have scientists and technicians and so many different.
The scientist is great.
War Skrull. I would like to see a nice, huge War Skrull too. Like, there's so much.
The old War Skrulls were so bad. I hope they make a new, better one.
Oh, they have to make a new, better one because they were bad.
Well,
I have 4 of them.
Oy.
Because I just wanted a big army of Skrulls, but that 9 attack opening is so bad.
Well, the nice thing is that now, I mean, they can start including Fantastic Four stuff in other Marvel sets. So, you know, you might just get like a little sprinkle of this here and this there. You know, it's not just good. It hopefully will mean more diversity per set.
Yeah.
Which I'm excited for, honestly.
Oh, yeah. I mean, with the sub-themes and things like that, you kind of hope they start reaching back towards some of these properties that they haven't had the ability to use in the last umpteen years. So you'd think that, you know, hey, let's sprinkle in a sub-theme here and a sub-theme there, a negative zone sub-theme. Let's throw a few characters in there, stuff like that. I'm hoping.
Yeah, I'm liking the set so far. I think I have a case and a half already on reserve to buy, and I'll probably even buy a little bit more. How much are you thinking of buying from this set, Aries?
Oh boy. I mean,
how hard is your wallet gonna cry afterwards?
I don't know, to be honest with you. I still have to go on a honeymoon still. I got married in February, so
Congrats.
We're going down to Myrtle Beach. Yeah, thank you. We're going down to Myrtle Beach in August, so I'm putting money aside for, I don't know, probably a case, at least a case. I don't know.
See,
I'm not even a Marvel guy either, and I'm like, it's the Fantastic Four, though. We haven't seen them in so long.
I'm doing the singles for this just because, like, I mean, I like the set. The set is good. I think it's awesome. It's just, you know, there's only, like, I'm picky. Like, I usually only get characters that I'm really into. So I'll probably go sing. Like, this set won't hurt as much as Carnage is going to hurt. Carnage is going to be where my wallet takes a hit. It's going to hurt real hard.
All right, well, that is the previews, and we're just going to have more and more previews come. I mean, we're, a month away from this set, so we're going to, and they're giving us good previews. Like, they're not just showing us the commons, they're giving us the rares, the super rares. Haven't seen any primes yet, but we have seen 2 chases so far.
Yep, and, I mean, I'm assuming that Mr. Porter will start doing his unboxings sometime within the next couple of weeks, so we'll be looking out for that. I'm always excited to see his stuff. He's just always a good watch. So
still waiting for that call, Scott. If you ever want to be on the show, come on, give me a call.
I think we're all waiting for that call.
Yeah. We did get another figure previewed, which was Dr. Fantastic, but we just got the front of his card, so we don't know what his dial is. So we're going to wait for him until we get the back side of his card. All right, so now we are going to get into our new segment that we started last week, which was, did we just become best friends? And
America,
there's my ad again,
this is
of
our
course.
time to shine.
2 weeks in a row. All
Spectacular
right,
savings.
here we
at
go.
the Monday.
Let's play a game. All right. On the count of 3, name your favorite dinosaur. Don't even think about it. Just name it. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Velociraptor.
Favorite non-pornographic magazine to masturbate to.
Good housekeeping.
If you were a chick, who's the one guy you would sleep with?
John Stamos.
What? Did we just become best friends?
Yup.
You want to go do karate in the garage?
Yup.
So Aries can't hear, but Aries, I used the soundbite for that one where in Step Brothers they find out that they become best friends.
Yep. Yep.
Did we just become best friends? Yup. You want to go do karate in the garage? Yup. All right. So we're going to do 4 more figures tonight, and then we're going to finish it off on Thursday. And then next week, we're going to get back into the Make It Meta section.
Are we starting with Flash?
Flash we're starting off with.
Okay.
So we're not going to go over all the cards. because they're pretty much all the same except for their episode ones. So the one episode one that the Flash has is with Green Lantern, and that one is at the beginning of your turn. You may exchange the Flash's square with the listed friendly character's square. After revealing your force, you may replace a game element default card. Oh, that's where you can just do that. So from what it seems like with this one, you may exchange the Flash's squares. You can just basically swap wherever they are comparison to each other, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's
I
just for
kinda
free.
like that one,
So could you potentially just move up Flash or Lantern as far as possible and then swap, and then Flash can just go hit somebody?
No, because it's at the beginning of your turn.
Oh, beginning of your turn. Okay, it's not a free action.
But I still like that because, I mean, you can run the Flash up and then, like, to relative safety, and then there's a Green Lantern that's from the starter set that's running shot Pulse Wave. So
Yeah.
you can literally just have Lantern, like, sit in your starting area and just boop, and then hi, and running shot Pulse Wave.
So that one's
Yeah.
pretty cool. Now, is there a 20.11? Because there's not one on the realms.
I do not know if he has an 11, if he has, like, a different team up. I'm not sure.
Aries,
have-
you sent me that one picture. Was there one in there? I can check real quick if you don't have it up.
No, there is not a
Okay,
2011.
so he only has 10 of them.
Yes.
Otherwise, I was going to look at the evidence thread, just because they've been doing a pretty good job of getting them all in there.
Yeah.
So I was going to try to see if I could find Flash and see if he had anything else.
But the other ones, Superman gives him super strength. Oh, no. No, that's... Oh, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong one. Yeah, they don't have all of them on here. But,
No, they have them on the evidence thread, so like they have the point 1, point 2, so it goes Superman, Green Lantern, Batman, I think Wonder Woman, and then Green Arrow, Aquaman, what's the number 7?
That's Black Canary.
Black Canary, Hawkgirl, and then Martian Manhunter, and then the episode team up.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously the Batman one's always good to give stealth, and then it gives him another 2+ movement if he's in hindering. Does that Flash ignore hindering?
Yes, it does.
Okay, so that's awesome. That's good. And then I'm a shape change guy, so I like the Martian Manhunter one also, so you're giving him 2 rollouts. Other than that, it was funny because Tyler pulled the Superman team-up card with Flash, and I think that is the most useless one to use because... Yes, he has super strength, but he can't use super strength with hypersonic. He can still use it.
Yeah, he can.
Well, he can do knockback.
You can do knockback.
Yeah.
Which is still good.
It is, but the improved target hindering with a 0 range does nothing.
Well, if he had like a support power, that'd be different, but he doesn't
Yes.
have any of that.
So
I mean, he can throw a light object.
he can.
I guess that's true. If he didn't move and use hypersonic, yeah, that's true.
I feel like Superman is just, I think, the worst one pairing for him. Just because, yes, you can do knockback with the super strength, but you can't use an object with it, and then that improved targeting hindering is just not anything. So I think it'd either be Batman or Martian Manhunter. Ares, what do you think would be the best team-up card for Flash?
I mean, I'm right there with you, too. I enjoy that.
The Hawkgirl's not bad because you get sidestep, but you kind of get that anyways with Batman because you're going to keep him in hindering.
Yeah, I mean, giving him...
You get flight with that.
With which one?
Yeah.
You get flight
with
with
Hawkgirl. You get the flight. So, I mean... But he's already got improved movement with elevated and hindering.
He doesn't get flight. He gets close combat expert and sidestep with Hawkgirl.
That's the Amazo team up.
Yeah. The Flash
oh, duh. Yeah, you're right. I'm looking at the wrong one. Sorry.
It's
Yep,
the
wing
flight. And can use improved movement characters.
If they already have flight, yeah.
You're right.
Yes. So, yeah, I mean, we've already hit them. I mean, the Batman one is going to be good. The Martian Manhunter. I mean, I don't mind Green Arrow either, because you can give him probability control.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess, or I kind of like Green Lantern. I mean, because he's got a big swing, so, like, he can yo-yo pretty far. So I think, like, maybe ESD sometimes might be helpful.
Yeah.
Just because he might be getting shot at more often than not. But I guess that all depends.
Yeah. I guess it also kind of depends on the team you're playing against. So the best bet is if you do have all these somehow, bring them all, look at the team, and then play whichever one you think is best appropriated for it.
Yeah.
Next one, Luther. So Luther has a couple different ones. So
This is cool. I'm excited for this guy because I actually like his team ups a lot.
yeah. So Luther, the first one is Cheetah, which gives him super senses. The next one is Solomon Grundy, which gives him Invuln, which is really good. The next one is Shade, which gives him a Smoke Cloud as free, but only to generate 3 markers. He then has Star Sapphire, which Lex can use Barrier for free, but only generate 2 markers. He has Ultra Humanite, which he can use Mind Control. And finally, he has Copperhead, which Lex Luthor can use Plasticity and improve movement. This character can move through squares adjacent to or occupying by opposing characters without stopping and automatically breaks away, even if adjacent to a character that has plasticity.
He has improved movement characters. That's cool.
Yeah. So, Dan, I'll let you go first. So who you think is the best one, because you're more excited about this guy than I am. So which one do you think would be the best?
I just think his team ups are good, like overall. Like I think my top 3 are probably Grundy, Shade, and Star Sapphire.
Yeah.
So Grundy makes them more durable. And I mean, I feel like Grundy's not bad for 75 points. Like you're getting 10 clicks for 75 points. I felt like they did him dirty after doing Immortal Hulk, but he's still good. So, and on a theme team for something like that, being able to like extend Lex's life a little bit is kind of nice. Shade's just like free Smoke Cloud is good, so I like it. And then obviously the free barrier with Star Sapphire, because Star Sapphire's got on her, like you can run her for 30 points and you get like sidestep TK and then her Mystic's shape change. So that's pretty good combo for him just because he's got a short running shot and then he can free barrier. So I like that. To me that's like probably one of the best team ups for him, I'd say.
I'd probably go with the barrier just because it's barrier for free. I mean, you can't argue with that. Aries, any preference for which one you like better?
I mean, you hit some of the good ones. Ultra Humanite is I think is a good one too because you're not really having to sink a lot of points into playing Ultra Humanite because he's
25 points.
So cheap, and then you're giving Lex mind control.
Yeah.
So and with how good mind control is now as well.
Yeah.
Like I think Humanite, you're not having to spend a lot of points to get that advantage. But you hit the other one, Shade. I think Shade is a sneaky good figure as well. So I would just want to play Shade, and then getting the free Smoke Cloud on top of it is just a bonus.
Yeah.
But no, you hit all the good ones.
I was thinking about the Star Sapphire one for the same reason you said Ultra Humanite, because she's so cheap to run on her lower line.
Exactly.
That it's just like I'm only spending 80 points, and I feel like I'm getting a lot for that.
Yeah,
so,
you're getting your value is very, very high for that 80 points.
Yeah, and I think Ultra Humanite's kind of better because you're getting that 25 point, and then you're giving him mind control, which then lets him pick for his special like pick a power. You could just pick your improved targeting then, instead of having to pick like a attack power.
Yeah,
so, which is kind of nice. So yeah, I see. I should have probably picked one of that one as well, but like I definitely see the value in it. So
yeah. Next one we're going to do is Green Arrow. So he's got all the normal ones that the rest of them have, but then he does have one episode which is with Black Canary, The Question, and Huntress.
Hey, I think that's the double date one.
Probably. If 1+ listed friendly characters are on the map when Green Arrow or a listed friendly character attacks and their final attack roll includes a 2, modify attack by +2. If all characters are on the map, they and Green Arrow modify attack by +1. So if they're all on there, they just get a +1 right away, which is nice.
Yeah, and that's the cool thing is each one of those that episode team up, each one of their own team up cards gives a different Benny if you have an attack roll that includes a 2.
So it's kind of like with the Trinity one.
Exactly. So Black Canaries, you can knock somebody back 2 squares after resolutions. Questions is if the listed friendly character attacks and their attack roll includes a 2, after resolutions, give an action token to a target. So even if it's a miss, so that you don't have to hit them in order for that to happen. And then what is it? Huntress is after resolutions, deal 1 penetrating to a target. So like that's for me that's That's a pretty good team up. I like that. I mean, it's not meta again, but just for being A, thematic, and being B, good, I like it.
Yeah, I think you're either going with this one or Batman. Batman's pretty much the best one out of all of them, unless you're playing against a Superman team that can see through stealth.
I also like Hawkgirl, just because it gets him flight. Yeah, because it helps him get out there because his traits rely on him being farther away from his team.
Yeah.
So that's kind of why, like, for that I kind of like. Obviously, Batman would help him get out there too because of that free move 2 squares. But otherwise, I think Hawkgirl is another good one for that, just to help him get moving out there. Because you can play Hawkgirl at 30.
That's true.
She's still really good with her charge, flurry. I think she's 11-3 or something like that on that click.
I mean, plus an archer that just has the flight ability, period, is nice. Just so you can just bounce from rooftop to rooftop, and you can just get around certain things that would usually slow him down.
Yeah.
So, yeah, just that extra maneuverability with the flight is good.
And with willpower, you could, like, first turn equip him with, like, say the demonic ring, and then look at that, I'm seeing through stealth.
Absolutely. Or you could just go ahead and get the Nightbringer as well, and then you can just have your own stealth wherever you go.
That's true.
Yeah. All right, and then the last one we're going to talk about is good old Aquaman that can never seem to be getting any love.
He doesn't get as much love as Namor. Like, no. I just think dial per dial, Namor is kind of crushing it right now.
Yeah. So he's got all the usuals, but the only one he has is a theme team-up card, which is like the Batman family, the Kryptonian one, and the Amazon one, where he gets leadership, and when he does and removes an action token from a character with the listed keyword, that heal that character 1 click. So unless you're playing an Atlantis team, it's okay. So do any of these make him... I mean, again, I think Batman's the best one just because he has that 17 combat reflexes, so at least he'll be an 18, or I'm sorry, a 19 if you try to hit him up close.
Yeah, I kind of like Superman for this guy, just because it gives him the super strength.
Yeah, charge super strength.
Up his damage a little bit.
Does he have any range?
No, he's a 0.
Okay. But super strength for free is not bad either.
Yeah, I mean, and that was what I was getting at. Like, that's the only reason I kind of like the Superman one for that. So, but otherwise, yeah, it's definitely Batman or Flash or Manhunter because it gives him an extra rollout just in case. Especially if you're facing a team that has, improved targeting, you're like, well, stealth isn't going to help me. So having a rollout might help.
Yeah, poor Aquaman. He just can't get any love from DC.
No. I mean, he is really well point costed. He's 7 clicks for 60 points with Indom. He's got a cool trait like Namor. If he's in Water Train, he gets defend and regen. So, I mean, you've got a lot to chew through for 60 points. So that's kind of a benefit.
Yeah. No. Aries, any recommendations for Aquaman?
I would recommend just putting him back in the case and not playing him.
Oh, man. Oh.
Ouch. Sorry, Aquaman.
If I'm being honest, I would give you have a lot more you can spend on 60 points in this set. So sorry, Aquaman. Back to the booty bin, as Ted say from Coaching. Back to the booty bin for you.
One of these days, hopefully they'll do him right. All right.
King Aquaman from Elseworlds wasn't bad, but again,
he wasn't bad. I liked the Aquaman from, and I cannot remember, but he made the Geyser. He was a Flashpoint Aquaman.
Oh yes, it was where it's him with the huge trident on his back and everything.
Yeah. He basically just made a geyser under somebody and just blew him up.
Yeah.
But yeah, all right. So that is Did We Just Become Best Friends? We have 4 more to do next week, and those ones are, I believe, we got Black Canary. We have got Black Canary. We have got Shining Knight, who only has 1, so that should be easy.
There's Hawkgirl.
Oh, that's right. Hawkgirl
and Martian Manhunter.
and Martian Manhunter.
And is there anybody else?
No.
Yeah, I think that's it because they only go through the rares.
Yeah,
So,
so Black Girl, or wow, Black Canary. I got Black Canary and Hawk Girl merged into one there. Black Canary, Hawk Girl, Shining Knight, and Martian Manhunter.
I mean, but the Shining Knight one's really, really good. So
Yeah. Might have to edit that one out.
Yeah.
Who am I kidding? I'm not going to. I'm leaving that in. That's a gem. All right. So now we're going to get into everyone's new favorite game. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's a Heroclix.
Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. Look, up in the sky. It's a bird.
It's a plane!
It's
John C.
All right. So for those of you who don't know how to play this game, real quickly, how this is going to work is I'm going to pick 5 figures that are golden age. And I'm going to give these guys all the stats and everything about that character. Then they have to guess how many points they think that character is. And then whatever they guess, I'm going to take the over-under on the points. So if they say that a character is 40 points, but they're actually 50, they're going to get 10 points for that round. And then whoever has the least amount of points at the end of the game wins the game. So how we're going to do is start this off is I have a dice in front of me. Aries, I want you to say either 1, 2, 3, or 4, 5, and 6. And then if it comes up that number, or we'll do it this way. 1, 2, or 3, Aries will go first. And 4, 5, and 6, Dan will go first. So the number is a 4. Like, shocking. Dan's going to go first.
why you always got to do that to me, Juice?
It's the die. Maybe I got to switch up the dice. I don't know what's going on in there. And we do have lifelines now. So the lifelines are going to be over-under, where you're going to give me a point value, and I will tell you if that point value is over, under, or equal to your guess, and then you can change your answer after you get my answer. We have changed the order, which you basically, self-explanatory, you change the order of who goes. So if you go first, you can use that one, and the other person will go first. We have what's one number, where I will give you the ones digit of the point value. And then we have in the ballpark, which is, I'll tell you if the figure is between 1 and 50, 51 and 100, 101 and 150, and so forth. You can only use one lifeline for the entire game, and once that lifeline is used, it cannot be used by anybody else. So any questions before we begin, Aries?
No, I'm good.
All right. So I do have a little clip here I want to play real quick before we start.
Let's get ready to rumble!
All right. So the very first figure we're going to talk about, and Dan's going to be up first. This is going to be the super rare Metron from Arkham Asylum. So Metron has the Quintessence team ability. He starts off with a 12 phasing, with a 10 attack, with a special power called the Price of Knowledge. Metron can use Quake, Psychic Blast, and Pulse Wave. Immediately after the resolution of an action in which Metron used any of these powers, roll a d6. On a result of a 1 or 2, deal Metron 1 unavoidable damage. He then has a 18 Impervious, and then a 4 damage with a special power called Mobius Chair. Metron can use Outwit and Probability Control. Once per turn, Metron can use one of the following powers: Leadership, Perplex, or Support. He has an 8 range, he is a flyer, and he's got the keywords New Gods and Scientist, and he is 7 clicks deep. All right, Dan, what do you want to know?
Does he have powers all the way through his dial?
Yes, he has full dial phasing, full dial of that Price of Knowledge. He has 3 clicks of Impervious, 4 clicks of Super Senses, and then full dial of the Mobius Chair.
He's an interesting character from everything you said. Like, his powers are, like, it's interesting.
Sure.
Man, he seems like he's a lot of points just because he's he's Metron. So, and that was, like, what you said, Arkham Asylum, that was a pretty old set. That still seems when they point costed things pretty high. So I'm just going to go with 200 points.
All right, 200 points for Dan. So, Ares, what do you think for this guy?
See, this is the thing is I remember Metron because he was all the hotness for the World Championships for a while.
He was on every team.
People played him with
Nightcrawler and Night Nurse.
Crawler, and they played the Gem of Sideric.
And Night Nurse was also on there.
Yep, it was the old school Jane Foster. That's who it was.
Yep, that's right.
Ares, did they do the Siderac on him or Nightcrawler?
On Nightcrawler.
Oh, see, I thought they would have done on him to give him charge so he could charge Quake or something.
No, he was he was more like just bouncing around to outwit and to, I mean, he could still deal damage, but no, when you put it on Nightcrawler, it made him really
plus
good.
1 damage, right? That
yeah.
It was what charge, toughness. What was it? All that?
1.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of these dials too. They're like funky too, where they're not round numbers. It's not like squared out things.
That's why I just did something that I'm hoping is rather close because I don't think I'm never going to get the exact point cost right.
He is. I remember him being super high, but it was a funky number. I'm gonna do the old Price is Right on you.
Hey, that's how PJ won last on Thursday.
You said 200. I'm gonna go like 199. Just because I think he's one of those odd numbered Heroclix where it's like a funky. That's why Gem was in there.
That's funny.
All right, so we got 200 for Dan and 199 for Ares. And Metron comes in at 195. So he was a wacky number, but not compared to today's numbers.
$1, Bob.
Yeah. All right, so we have 5 points for Dan, 4 points for Ares. So Ares is going up first next. And this is going to be the rare Molecule Man from the Avengers set.
Oh, God.
So Molecule Man comes with no team ability. He starts off with an 8 movement, 10 Psychic Blast, 17 Barrier, and a 4 damage. He does have 1 damage power that he has on clicks 3 through the rest of his dial. It's called Molecular Destruction. Once per turn as a free action, Molecular Man can choose one of the following options. Number 1. Remove any target object, including an object carried by a character from the game. Number 2. Destroy a target square of blocking terrain. Number 3. Destroy a portion of a target wall bordering a single square. For all options, the target must be 6 or fewer squares from Molecular Man, and he must have a clear line of fire to the target. He has a 10 range, double target. He is a flyer, and he has no keywords.
Keywords.
Nope. He is 7 clicks deep. Now, I will say he has Psychic Blast on clicks 1 through 15. 1 through 5.
Well, he's got to be super high
right?
then.
He was a Colossal, no. Psychic Blast on clicks 1 through 5, and then Psychic Blast. Oh my gosh, I can't talk. Psychic Blast on clicks 1 through 5. Pulse Wave on clicks 6 and 7. He then has Barrier on clicks 1 through 4, nothing on 5, 6, and 7, and then nothing on damage on 1 and 2, but then that Molecular Destruction on clicks 3 through 7.
And this is in the Avengers set.
Yes. Okay, so I'm going to real quickly go over his wacky dial. So his speed pretty much stays the same. It's like 8s and 7s for the most part. His attack goes 10, 9, 8, 11, 12, 11, 11. His defense goes 6, 15, 14, 17, 19, 15, 13.
What the hell?
And then his damage goes 4, 3, 2, 2, 2, 3, 4. So his defense and attacks are kind of all over the place.
Ugh.
There are lifelines.
Yeah, I want to save him to the end. I kind of want to. I mean, a 19 defense. It's the Avengers set too. Tops didn't give a shit then.
Oh man,
they're just slapping numbers on stuff at this point in time.
Oh, was that why during like that stretch that things were just so all over the place? Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah, it was. WizKids was originally owned by the Topps company that makes baseball cards.
Yeah.
So, and that's why they made that really bad Sports Clicks as well.
Oh, I remember the baseball ones, yeah.
So, yeah, if you look at stuff, it's all wonky. Let's say 127.
All right, 127 for Aries.
I feel like his defense, not having any damage modifiers, might have brought that down a little bit.
All right, Dan, what do you think?
Wait, did he already guess?
Yeah, he said 127.
Oh, got it. He's just so oddball, but I feel like this was the only time he's been made. So maybe we'll get one in this Fantastic Four set.
Well, you're thinking he might be a chase in this next set.
Maybe he was pretty crucial to Battle World. He basically was helping hold it all together. So, but he's okay. This dial is really weird. I'm just gonna go 100 points. I'm just gonna a flat number, hopefully be close.
All right, so we got 100 points for Dan, 127 for Aries, and Molecular Man comes in at 113. So 113 points. So Dan's gonna get 13 points, and Aries is gonna get 14 points. So with that ties the score up to 18 apiece.
That's so stupid.
Hey, really? Come on. You're going to be mad about us being tied? Oh.
No, I'm mad about how they used to point figures out.
Yeah.
That's what I'm mad about.
Gotta love 113. You're like, how do I get this to flat 300? How?
All right. Click number 3 is going to be the Armor Wars unique Ironmonger. So
oh, God.
Ironmonger has no team ability. He starts off with a 9 movement, 9 super strength, 17 impervious with a 3 damage. He does have a arch enemy base, which his arch enemy was Iron Man in that set. He has a 10 range, he is a flyer, and he has the keywords armor. He is 9 clicks deep.
And he looks stupid as hell.
Yes, he looks like a blue Smurf.
I was going to say, he looks like a Macy's Day Parade.
Yes.
He's a flying Smurf, though, right?
Yes, he is a flyer.
Am I going first this time?
Yep, you are.
So, what does his dial look like?
All right, let's go over this. So, his first 4 on movement have nothing. Next 3 have Force Blast. Last 2 have nothing. First 5 on attack are super strength. Next 2 are psychic blast, and then nothing on his last 2. Then he goes impervious, invuln for 3, toughness for 4, nothing on his last, and then damage, nothing on his first 2. RCE is next 3, nothing his last 4.
Okay, so he's terrible. Is what I'm getting.
Yes.
Like even top dial, he's terrible. But he's a brick, so I feel like he's gonna be a decent chunk of points. And it's Armor Wars, so yeah, I feel so. I'm gonna go with 100 again.
Okay.
And see what that gets me.
All right, hundo for Dan. Aries, what do you think?
This guy, man, he's just he's 100, 200. He's just sticking to the flats. You got to play the odds. You know they're stupid numbers. There's going to be some really dumb numbers in there.
I know that's called calculated risk. That's why I do this.
Well, maybe I should start putting some like prerequisites on every once in a while. Like you can't pick numbers that start or end with 0 or something like that. I don't know. We're always looking for ways to improve this game.
No, it depends on also the year that these things are being made.
Yeah, that's very true.
I mean, the 10 range gets me. He's got some deep. Back then, Back then, Impervious was great.
It's the fact that he's got that. He's got 9 clicks, and he's got that 10 range. So he's a big old brick. And I remember them. They usually seemed to cost bricks back then a decent amount of points. But like this one's not like one of those higher tier bricks where you're like, oh yeah, he's gonna be the majority of my force. This one's just like he's definitely like sub tier as far as like what you'd go. Like back in the day, he would not be your first choice.
Oh, he wouldn't be my second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. He's sitting next to Aquaman, going, "Oh, you're not getting played either." Oh, okay. That's what he's. So you said 100. I'm gonna go above that. I feel like, but he's not. We'll go 117. One of those goofy ones. Let's go with a 17 on the end of it.
All right. So we got 100 for Dan, 117 for Aries, and this piece of garbage comes in at 110 points.
Oh, God, that's horrible.
Yes, he was one you definitely weren't excited about when you pulled your super rare from this set.
Yeah, because back then he was a unique, and unique were like considered like the best figures. If you pulled this, you're just kicking the whole case.
Yeah, he was absolute garbage.
You're just like, why? Especially if you pulled this in sealed. Oh my God.
His last click, he ends with a 5 attack.
But back then, though, you still have a chance, even against like Ultimate Thor.
Yeah.
I think he ends with like a 14 defense.
So does Ironmonger.
So
so does Ironmonger.
But doesn't that mean you have to roll a 9 with his little 5 attack?
Yeah, but still, it's back then that was feasible of possibly doing it.
Oh, okay. Just wanted to be sure that was a feasible thing. I'm like, that doesn't sound good though.
And the way the game is played now, sometimes you got to roll 9s too to hit.
Yeah.
That's true.
All right, figure number 4. So we're going Aries and Dan, and I thought this was kind of suiting because we had a scroll on the preview section. So this is going to be the L.E. Pyabak from Clobbering Time.
Oh my God!
So Pyabak is an L.E. He has the Skrull's team ability. He starts off with a 8 movement, 9 attack, 15 toughness with a 2 damage. He has a 0 range. He's got the keywords Skrulls, Spy, and Warrior, and he is 6 clicks deep. Now, I will tell you this. The only powers he has are his first 2 clicks, and it's toughness. That is it for powers.
What?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's ugly.
That's terrible. Why would I ever want to use this?
No, like I said, he is 6 clicks deep.
Oh, okay, that's just random. Like 6 clicks. Like, what is he? Mastermind fodder?
I don't think any Skrulls had Mastermind back then anyway.
I was going to say, yeah. You're that.
I've got Spy and Warrior to work with, so that might help.
What were the lifelines again?
So you have over, under, or even. Now, if you use that because you're going first, Dan's going to get that information. You have change the order, which you just make Dan go first.
I'm going to change the order.
You're going to change the order?
Yeah, let's change the order.
So, Dan, you're going first.
Oh, good. Thanks, Aries. First you ballparked me, and then now this.
No problem, bud.
So there's nothing else to really tell you about Pyabak. I've given you everything.
Does he at least have scroll change?
Oh yeah, he has scroll change.
Okay, so that back then, at least you had something. Yes. So that's not bad, I guess. But from what I remember from like the really, really old LEs, is they seemed like they undercosted them a lot, or like they were super cheap. So I'm not thinking he's a lot of points. So I'm gonna go 40.
All right, man. 40 points. All right, Aries, you're up.
Well, I mean, I made mention that I was a Skrulls fan, so I mean.
Wait, did you just pull a little rope-a-dope on Dan?
Oh, absolutely, 100%. 100%.
2 weeks in a row, Dan, you've had the rope-a-dope pulled on you.
That's fine. I'm okay with that. I do it for the funds. Like, this is all just fun.
Oh, that's funny. You played that perfectly, Aries. I just have to say that.
I mean, but if you would have remembered, I said, oh, yeah.
You're right.
I love Skrulls. I have Skrulls. I have this guy sitting in my case.
I have this guy also. He was a birthday present from my brother many, many years ago.
Absolutely. My brother has a full set of clobbering time still.
Oh, jeez.
Nice.
Oh, yeah, with the full Nightcrawler, everything. Pyabok is, and again, you were right. He is undercosted, and he is super, super low. A figure that you're never going to pull out, and he is a true goofy point. He is 28 points.
Jesus.
Right,
I guess at least that was
points.
close.
All right, and in fact, Pyabok does come in at 28 points.
Yeah, I'm sorry. He's like, I hate him so much. I'm never having him on again.
People are finding ways to beat Dan in
Juice,
very
you act
unique
like-
ways.
You act like I'm some monolith that just, like...
No, it's just like, I would never have, like, Ares... Did you, like, act in high school or something, Ares? Like, that was great acting on your point, because I'm always having to remind people, like, if you know the point value, don't tell everybody.
I mean, but you're talking to a seasoned player. Like, it's the same with PJ. PJ knows not to just give it away.
Yeah.
And that's why me and him had such a big fight when it came to him trying to barrier the guy in. Like, I know what you're doing. I do that. Like, I know what you're doing.
All right, so going in the last round. Now, Dan does still have a lifeline. If
He
needs
does.
it. So, going in the last round, we have Dan with 40 and Ares with 15. So he's only down by 15 points.
Yeah.
But
Wait,
Dan, you are going first, which is kind of against you.
Wait, you said I have 40?
You have 40.
I'm down by 25.
No, 40 to 25.
Oh, okay.
15.
I thought you said it was 15 to
No.
40. So I'm like, I'm actually down 25 points
No,
here.
you have 40, Ares has 15, so you're down 15.
Got it.
All right, so you do have a lifeline, but unfortunately you are going first.
Yep.
Okay, so the last one, again, I thought I'd keep it in the Fantastic Four realm, and this is going to be the L.E. Nathaniel Richards from Supernova.
Oh, no.
So Nathaniel Richards has the Minions of Doom team ability. Remember, it was a wild card back then. He starts off with a 10 phasing, 12 energy explosion, 18 mastermind, and a 3 damage RCE. He has an 8 range, he is a flyer, and he has the keywords future, past, scientist, and soldier. And he is 8.
Was this the one that looks like Kang, but
Yes.
it's not? They don't call him Kang.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he's 8 clicks deep.
So he's 8 clicks deep. He's got. Does he have a lot of powers?
Yeah, he's got a pretty good rainbow dial.
Okay, so he's colorful. Does he have a lot of support powers?
He's got, I'll go through his damage ones. It goes RCE, perplex, RCE, perplex, perplex, nothing for the next 2, and then ends with perplex.
Okay, so he's got some stuff. He says he's got 8 range, Minions of Doom. Does he have flight?
Yep.
Okay. So he's got a decent chunk of keywords, even though they're not like named keywords. He's got rock and stats top dial, at least for attack.
He was kind of like a callback to the Mastermind Doom from Clobbering Time, because I think he had an 18 Mastermind also.
Okay. So I'm going to go with him being 160 points.
All right, 160 points for Dan. And
I'm not going to lifeline and give Ares any more of an edge than he already has.
pun intended. Ares edge. Ares, what do you think for Nathaniel Richards?
And this is the last one, correct?
This is,
I mean, this is where you really do prices right, and you just do them dirty.
yes, if you want to
said-
do it that way.
Nathaniel Richards. I remember the Supernova. The Supernova probably had some of the best LEs in the game too.
That is my favorite set, which we're going to get into later.
Yeah, yeah. He said 160. Let's say like he's up there. I know because the stats are high. I don't feel like he's above 190. I think that's pushing way too tall. Let's say like 172. He's like in that ballpark.
If only you had the ballpark lifeline.
Yeah, no, I did him dirty with the old switcher, the old pie box switcheroo.
Well, it's fun because you're like, am I gonna make it? Like, he'll probably get in the ballpark, and I'm like, yeah. And I was like, yeah, but he knows scrolls.
It was the perfect lifeline for that figure because you knew it, you played it up, and you're like, I'm not gonna guess it, and then he's gonna guess close to that.
Yeah, I was like, I figured you probably had a good idea. At least even if you didn't know it exactly, I was like, yeah, he's gonna be close though because he's played a lot of scrolls. So I was like, okay. I was like, but I just didn't know it. I'm like, but I knew the Ellies at the time from that era were pretty undercosted, and I'm like, but he does. I was like, so he had to be cheap. But I didn't think he was going to be 28 points cheap.
Yeah. Oh, no, they're all, I mean, that's why Jane Foster back then, she was,
was she 11 points or something like that?
She was 16 points.
16, yeah.
And the big push with her was that she had willpower and support.
Yeah.
So she could just continually hit that support and keep your guys pushing. She was the only one that had willpower and support until we got Dr. Midnight.
Yeah.
And then Dr. Midnight could actually attack and hit and also do support as well. Dr. Midnight was my dude.
Yep. All right. Are you going to go with that guess then for Nathaniel?
Yeah, let's do 172. I think they're all funky numbers way back pre-carded.
All right, so we got 160 for Dan and 172 for Aries, and Nathaniel Richards, the LE from Supernova, comes in at 167. So it's going to be 7 points for Dan and 5 points for Aries. And the winner of this round is going to be Aries with 30 points to Dan's 47.
Did him dirty with the pie box, man. That's what it was.
Dirty with the pie box. And I'm really hoping they're going to make a Piebok in this. Hopefully maybe it's like a prime or something like that. But I would love to see Piebok in this set.
I would like to see some of like the named Skrulls back.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just to get that feel for it.
Well, so like him, right? Obviously, and maybe even the Skrull Empress, possibly.
Oh. I mean, you had like the
There's Ninura. There's Raskor. There's a couple of them.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I'm trying to look.
Please make a Skymax. I would love a Skymax.
Skymax was real good. Wasn't his dial like he was all clear? Or his sculpt was like all clear?
Yeah, I would love a new. Like, I wish they would have made Super Skrull like the Super Rare and Skymax the Prime. That would have been cool.
Yeah.
All right, but that is our game. Hope you guys had fun with that one. Now, Aries, I will say it doesn't happen very often where Dan gets taken down, so make sure you take some kudos with you when you leave the show today. All right, so lastly, we are going to get into our Clixing It crew question of the day.
There's no such thing as stupid questions, except for Billy's questions.
And our Clixing It crew question of the day, which is, what is your favorite set of all time? And I'm going to check, but I don't think we had any responses on Facebook, which was all right. Sure, everyone's busy out there. Let's see here. Of course, it's loading. I don't see any on here. The only thing that Matty G put on here was, where'd it go? It was something like, oh, not that scrub.
Yeah, I was referring to you, Eric.
He's
He does listen to the podcast, so if you have any message for Matty G, now's the time, Aries.
I mean, he made a bet with me for Philadelphia Worlds and he lost.
Oh.
He's just still sour.
Oh.
That's what it boils down to. I played like garbage, though, in Tennessee, so I can't say much there. And he ended up winning, I think, Team Worlds that year. So he bounced back.
All right.
But
let's start with you, Aries, because you were saying before the podcast that you know it right from the start. So what is your favorite set of all time?
Hands down for me, just because they brought him back, I liked World's Finest.
All right.
World's Finest was a super, super strong set for me. Kingdom Come, obviously. I liked them bringing back the God packs.
Oh, that's right.
I know people are kind of like hit or miss on that, but I mean, I enjoy it. You had the Metal Men. I mean, can you imagine sitting down at a table and somebody during like a battle royal, and you pull a God Pack?
No,
during a battle royal would be great because everyone gets
I've heard
something.
Stories of people doing that.
Really?
Oh, I guess what? Because then everybody gets one.
Everyone gets a chase.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess like if I was that guy that pulled it initially, I'd be a little sour on that just because I'm like, man, this could have all been mine, but not right now.
Yeah.
But I mean, at least you're walking away with a chase.
True.
Not to mention whatever is being dropped on top of it. You know what I mean? So
yeah. So two people are walking out of there with either two chases or a chase and the Connelly.
Exactly.
Yeah. I remember when Batman came out, I went to a tournament. It wasn't a battle royal; it was just a tournament. It was a 2-booster buy-in, and I pulled a Prime pack.
Oh wow, that's horrible.
Yeah, because I could only use one Prime. I had to use my entire other booster and then one of my Primes. I was like, come, and that was like the Batman one that had the flock of bats. It was Bruce Wayne, which was Hush as Bruce Wayne.
Hush.
It was Black Queen, and I cannot remember what the common one was.
It was Selena Kyle.
That's right, the one that could steal objects from people.
Yes.
And then I don't even remember what the fifth figure was in there. I think it was like the brown bats or something like that came with it.
That Bruce Wayne was awesome. I really
was
liked
everywhere.
That Bruce Wayne.
Yeah,
that
he was
Hush.
everywhere.
Oh. Like again, this is also why I get so irritated when we see DC sets, and because back then the Batman and the we got the Streets of Gotham, and we got really good villains like Hush, and we got the Prime Hush, and then you got like Calendar Man, which was super fun, and then you got like Victor Zsasz. Like you had like a lot of these characters haven't been redone since then.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's like I would love just a complete Arkham Asylum set, like Escape from Arkham, and then just have like a whole bunch, just a villain set.
That's what makes me curious about where they're gonna go with DC. Like, are they gonna continue with the whole like animated universe thing? Like, are we gonna get a Superman the animated series now, or are they gonna go back next year? Because last year was Rebirth, the year before that was animated series, and then this year we had Justice League. So like, will next year be the alternate year where they stick to the comics again, and then do some other run?
With DC, you have no idea.
Yeah, that's
there's no real rhyme or reason to it.
No, I'm just trying to base it off of history. Is like it seemed like every other year now they've alternated doing like the animated universe and then comics, and then now they're doing the animated universe. So does that mean next year will be like a more comics centric set? And like they're doing a lot of interesting things in DC, as far as like comics are speaking. So like I don't think they don't have enough material or good material to pull from.
I mean, they have so many good properties that they've been using too. Like, why not use some of the Watchmen?
Yeah.
You had that whole couples off series with Dr. Manhattan and the Doomsday Clock and everything. Like, why don't you move some of them and you own that property? Watchmen, especially with how well the HBO series did as well.
Yeah.
Like that's an easy win for people who enjoyed that series. I have no idea. Knowing them, I mean, hell, I wouldn't even be surprised if we saw like a Teen Titans Go, like some sort of like Teen Titans set too, where they do like the Teen Titans Go and like the Teen Titan animated stuff. Like, who knows?
I guess I'd be really hoping for like Young Justice, because that has a big enough lineup from that show that they could really pump out a solid set.
Yeah.
It didn't focus on the big leaguers. It was very much like all the like sidekicks, I guess. And then they had a lot of the like random rogues that you didn't see a lot of the time. So like Count Vertigo and some other like a bunch of people. So I don't know, like a set like that would be kind of neat. I think you mentioned World's Finest. Like I'd like to see Etrigan again.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I was really hoping that like he was in the animated property. He didn't get a lot of screen time, but I think he got, was it 2 episodes? I think.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still looking forward to like Justice League Dark too.
Yeah.
I mean, they just put out that new animated movie for Justice League Dark. You know, you could do Etrigan, you could do Swamp Thing, John Constantine.
Yep.
You can put out a new Faust. I mean, there's a lot of different Justice League Dark things.
That's true.
That you could do as well. I mean, when you think about it, like they have a lot of good things going for them that people wouldn't hate if they did.
Mm-hmm.
And you can still sneak a Batman and a Superman. You can still sneak all of your iconic figures into the damn set. Because
you can still.
God knows DC wants the Trinity in there every single time they can do it.
Yeah, which I find kind of funny. But at least if they spin it and make them all like an interesting flavor, I'm okay with that.
Well, yeah, I mean, even like when we had like what was it, the Superman set, when we had the Flashpoint stuff.
Yeah.
We had the Thomas Wayne as Batman and things like that. I would like to see. I mean, we just had the what was it, the Metal. So you had all the Bruce Waynes as different villains and stuff like that, and I was fine with that.
Mm-hmm.
So you can still get those characters in there in a way, but just, I mean, you can't keep riding the same thing over and over. You got to give us some of these other characters. I mean, for me, it's Arkham Asylum. I want some of those old school, dirty Gotham villains, not Condiment King or whatever it was, Quilt. I'm all set
Quilt
with that.
Man,
Give me Victor Zsasz. Give me what's the other one there? Professor Pig.
Oh, we haven't had a Professor Pig, have we?
Like, give me one of those.
So would you like
the generics could be like the Arkham inmates again and stuff like that. Like,
or some
So
more Mad Hatters. We haven't had a Mad Hatter. We had what's his name? He wasn't called Mad Hatter. It was his real name.
Yeah.
Jarvis something.
Yeah, Jervis Tech.
Jervis Tech.
There you go.
Yeah.
So that means you'd probably like a Bane that's not animated series Bane, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I would love just like a classic Bane. I mean, we've gotten a couple clay faces too, so I mean that Poison Ivy is always good. But yeah, I mean, there is a lot we haven't had. They touched on it a little bit with the Joker's Wild, but we really didn't get a whole lot of Court of Owls stuff either.
True. I'd really like a really good Killer Croc. Like, I don't, for me, like, I've seen the ones they put out, and they just don't quite hit the nail on the head for me.
Well, no, because it's the animated series Killer Croc. That's why.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Give me a good comic book. I mean, King Shark even is better represented than Killer Croc right now.
Yeah, that's true.
So there's a lot of different things that they could and should do, in my opinion, that I think needs redone. That isn't just the animated series or, I mean, I get you're doing sets by theme, but there are a lot of figures out there that need to be redone that are long, long overdue.
So in other words, DC do more than one set a year. If you guys did 2, I feel like they'd get so much love for that just because they'd finally have more than one set a year.
Well, I mean, think back a couple years ago when you had like Batman and Streets of Gotham, you had multiple sets. War of Light. When was the last time we got a good Green Lantern set too? Was War of Light.
Even just when they did World's Finest, only back in World's Finest was February of 2016, and Superman Wonder Woman was only like 3 months earlier, or maybe 4 in November of 2015.
Yeah.
So it's like, come on. I mean, just do it. That's not a big enough. That's a perfectly big enough gap where you have enough time to play the old stuff, and then you have new stuff to be like, oh, cool. Now I can supplement, my Superman Wonder Woman with all this stuff from World's Finest.
They need to relinquish a little bit of the stranglehold, and I think let WizKids. They need to trust WizKids, I guess, a little more. Be like, hey. Like, we're not going to misrepresent your characters. We want to put out the best product as well. So there needs to be a little more trust on our end that we're going to do right by you. It's going to be a figure that's going to be representative of your character and your intellectual property, but it's also going to translate well onto the game.
Yeah.
So let us do it for you, please. Don't handcuff us to the point where we can only get one set a year out for you. Let us make you some money.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. That was a good tangent.
Yeah, sorry about that.
That's fine. Dan, what about you? What's your favorite set?
Well, I'm a noob, so I only started playing around Mighty Thor. So my exposure is not as it's not. I don't have that long of an exposure to clicks. Like, I know of a lot of the older sets, but I'm probably gonna base it off of like what I've played the most of. And I think my favorite set right now is, which will be funny because it'll be the oldest in Modern post rotation, is probably Secret Wars Battle World. EarthX was coming in at a hot number 2, but it's probably Secret Wars Battle World. I really like Secret Wars. I literally bought the comic to read it before the set came out. So like, I really enjoyed reading it and then seeing the set come out and being like, I recognize that character. Like, I know what page I saw them in. That was cool. Like, I read all the Spider Island stuff. I read all of the Thor Core stuff beforehand because I saw it in the main run, and I was like, oh, I got to read that. That looks great. So yeah, that's probably my favorite set. And I liked the majority of what they put in there. Like, it had a lot for me that I was like, yeah, I'll buy it. I'll buy a lot of this set.
Yeah. Mine, I mentioned earlier, would have to be Supernova, just because that's kind of when I first started getting into it. I started it around Armor Wars Icons area, but Supernova is the one that introduced me to like Skrulls, Shi'ar, Silver Surfer, Thanos, all those guys, and just it had a lot of big heavy hitters. I mean, Hyperion was in that set; he was a big hitter.
Oh.
Drax was in there; he was a good one.
We haven't had him in a while either. We haven't had Hyperion,
No.
which is a little odd, but
Kane the Conqueror, he was a great one in that figure or in that set. Obviously, Thanos was the big one in that one, and
What's the flyer either? Though? That was weird.
He wasn't.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, no. He's only been a flyer in Infinity Challenge. I think.
That was a weird one.
Yeah. And if anyone is interested out there in Heroclix land, Dial H or Heroclix is going to be having a Supernova tournament on Saturday that I actually am going to participate in because I haven't played Supernova in forever, and it's basically where he has a bunch of boosters of it. He's going to do a live unboxing on Thursday or Friday of 2 boosters that you get, and then you're going to make your 300-point team with that. So it only costs $10 to enter, but if you are a patron, you take whatever your patron is off that. So if you're like a $3 patron, it only costs you $7. So he has 6 people right now. He's looking for at least 2 more. He wants to get 8 people in there. I'm going to have a blast with that one because I not only bought a ton of that set, I bought a ton of that set to get the zombies from that set. That WizKids like made it a secret that they were going to have zombies in there. Like, nobody wanted zombies or something like that. And I remember I ended up pulling, I want to say 4 zombies out of all the ones I pulled. I got Wolverine twice, I got Spider-Man, and I pulled Colonel America, and then I bought the Hulk. And it was so funny because Tyler, when I first started playing, there was 1 booster of Supernova left on the wall, and it was Tyler's birthday. And I said, Tyler, do you want that last booster? He's like, nah, I'm good. I got everything out of there. So I ended up buying it, and then I ended up pulling Colonel America. And back then, chases were 1 per 100 boosters.
Absolutely.
So they were like 1 in every 5 cases. They were insanely rare. And I somehow pulled 4. Now, I always seem, I don't know if any of the old veterans out there, I always seem to pull it with a Gravitron. I remember at least 3 of the 4, if I saw Gravitron on top, there was a good chance that there was a zombie at the bottom of it. But yeah, those things were super rare. I know Calder's pretty jealous that I got all 4 of them signed by the Marvel Comics creator too. My brother actually brought the cards to a Gen Con one day where the Marvel creator was there, and
the guy that made the zombies, like he was the writer.
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
And he actually signed the Heroclix cards for me, which was great. But yeah, that's my favorite. I'm really excited for that. Other than that, I mean, you can't go wrong, and I'm sure Aries will like this one. I always like Secret Invasion too, because it had scrolls in it.
More scrolls.
Yeah. Even though that I still hated that Miss Marvel at the time because she was broken as all could be.
I did like Dum Dum Duggan was just way too big.
Dumb.
Like in comparison to other cliques, I was like, why is Dum Dum she's towering over people? Like he's just not proportionate to anything else in this set.
Yeah.
His head is the size of people's torso. It was weird.
Yeah. All right. Well, that is going to be our show. But before we end the show, I want to make sure everyone out there heads on over to glasscabinethobbies.com. They are our sponsor. So if you do go over there, they do have Galactus over there for pre-order right now for $89.99. And we can also use coupon code CLIXINGIT for 5% off your order. It doesn't have to be off of Galactus. It can be off of anything. He is still doing case breaks on Justice League if you guys are still interested in that. But he does also sell singles and boosters on there as well. And also, I want to say a thank you to all of our patrons out there. We are going on the 2.5 hours again, so I'm not going to read off all of our patrons. But thank you guys for all your support. Remember that you do only have a couple more days to get in on the Patreon giveaway for June. And Glass Cabinet Hobbies actually sent us 3 more boosters to add to our giveaway. They sent us a booster of Black Panther, a booster of Captain America, and a booster of Justice League. So someone's going to win those 3 boosters, as well as we have 2 other boosters of Justice League, 2 more boosters of Justice League, 2 boosters of Captain America. We have the Venom Gwenpool from Earth X Chase. We have the Static Shock. We have a bunch of dice. And we have some Clixing It tokens. So we have a ton of prizes for our June Patreon. And the higher tier you are on our Patreon, the better chance you have of winning something. So, Aries, it was a pleasure having you on here. I love having new people on here. And, yeah, it was fun talking to you for the last 2.5 hours.
Yeah, it went by fast. I just looked at the time and I was like, oh, yep, we've been here for a little bit.
And I forgot that you're on the East Coast, so I think it's 11 o'clock where you are right now.
A little bit.
Yeah. And
yeah,
then
I saw that. I was like, ooh.
Why don't you plug your channel one more time before we head out?
Yeah, you can just head over to the Dishing Up Clicks here, Heroclix page there on Facebook. All of the links to all the other social medias that I have. We do have a WordPress where we have a whole slew of writers who are working on stuff. Also the YouTube page and the SoundCloud, where whenever I do put out something, I try and rip it and put it over into the SoundCloud as well. You can find all of those links right over on the Dishing Up Clicks Facebook page.
Nice.
All right. And Dan, do you have anything to leave your fans with for tonight?
I always ask, like, I'm surprised I even have fans. Just, try to enjoy clicks with what we got. I mean, it's still a lot of fun. Like, I mean, we did a thing last weekend. It was small, but even if that's all you can do, just the fact that, even if we do it infrequently, it's still nice to be able to get out there and do something. Otherwise, Roll20 is still a thing, and it's still a lot of fun. It definitely helped keep the rust off because I didn't have as much rust as some of the other people on Saturday. So,
yeah. Real quickly before I end the show, this is how much I love that Secret Invasion set too. They had a Skrull Jarvis as a super rare in that set.
Yes.
They also had Ringmaster, who is Circus of Crime, so that's going to go with that Dragon Man. I think I even still have that Ringmaster. How many? There are currently 4 Circus of Crime people. Blackwing, Ringmaster, Princess Python, and Zelda Dubosis, who is the Princess Python. So hopefully there's some more in the next set coming out. But that is going to be our show. Thank you guys for sticking around for the last 2.5 hours. Stay safe, and as always, keep clicking it.